Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to the fourth episode of the Sovereign Sacrifice, Call of Cthulhu Gaslight Actual Play. My name is Chris Lofts. I've written this little scenario for our friends here, and it's also being hosted by the Illusion and Horror Con YouTube channel. I'm going to be your host, your keeper of arcane lore, and pretty much every other piece of terror you can think of. For those of you watching this for the very first time, this is episode 4. So there are 3 or 4. So you probably want to go to the 1, 2, 3 before and take a look at those before you watch this one. If not, that's fine too. I'm going to give a little bit of a recap, but just making you aware. So, just a reminder, this is a horror role-playing game, actual play, and that means certain topics might be disturbing or not suitable for a younger audience, so we're just making you aware. Any depictions of names, locations, and persons is purely fictional, and any resemblance with anyone either living or dead is purely coincidental. Also, when it comes to horror role-playing games, we like to ensure the safety for everyone, so we ensure the use of X card. If we need to use that, we'll have it in place. We've already discussed that amongst each other. Any concerns or things that people don't like. So, if you're unfamiliar with Illusion Horror Con, it is a massive, awesome virtual convention that takes place the first weekend of December, I should say. And it is amazingly cool. It deals with all kinds of horror, cult, Divinity Lost, Call of Cthulhu, Delta Green, you name it. Check it out. All the stuff is in the links below in the description. So, to recap, I'll try to make this as quick as I can because a lot's happened. We're in England in 1893, October 31st. We began this whole thing with the camera following ravens of the Tower of London, taking flight, going north, and never returning again. This is a bad sign because generally it's said that the Kingdom of England and the Tower of London will fall if the resident ravens ever leave the fortress. All of our investigators here are from all around the world for different reasons and for different parts of their past. They all decided they're going to come and meet for the annual International Alliance for Psychical Research Gala and Masquerade Ball in London at the Savoy Hotel. Some of them on their way here have gone through hell, quite literally, as their ship decided to sink in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and pretty much they escaped with their lives, barely. And they saw some things that were rather, strange, like, possessed babies and stuff. It was terrifying. So they make it to London, they get to the Savoy Hotel, and once they arrive there, they head to Sir Richard Bamford's manor house in Bourton on the Water, which is a small village just in the his manor is just north of Bourton on the Water, which is a small village in the eastern portion of the Cotswolds in England. It's a very rural area, nice green rolling hills. Anyhow, Sir Richard Bamford is basically he's the committee chairman for the International Alliance for Psychical Research. He kind of runs the whole thing. He oversees the business with the gala, and he invited each one of these investigators to a wonderful dinner, which turns out to be a pretty much not so good dinner at all. And they were pretty much attacked by very strange people doing, really things. So they ended up fleeing the place. So they end up getting literally at midnight. They hop onto a train heading directly back to London, trying to follow on the footsteps of the cultists who have managed to kidnap not just Sir Richard Bamford, but also the young assistant, Jessica Wainwright, for our beloved Miss Margaret Playfair. And needless to say, she's completely distraught over the situation, and we're trying to get back to them. Our investigators arrive at the Savoy Hotel, try to get settled in, try to get some kind of semblance of what's going on. But while they're there going on the way, they find out that all of them have some type of an ability that none of the other ones have, and it's, different. We're talking about ESP. We're talking about the ability to see and speak with ghosts, the ability to feel electromagnetic fields, and so on. While they're there at the Savoy, they experience all kinds of weird and strange happenings, apparitions showing up, maybe psychic echoes of what's happened in that hotel over time. And one of our investigators, Mr. Johannes Rike, happens to have the ability of clairvoyance, and he was able to sort of locate or pinpoint on where Jessica Wainwright is. And he realized, with the work of our explorer, Eric Lauritzen, that there must be tunnels below the Savoy Hotel. They take a rickety lift down into the bowels just below the hotel, and they find themselves stumbling over rubble. It's almost pitch black dark. They have to open up or get a couple lanterns running and get some light in the area, and they realize they're in an old abandoned subway tunnel or tube that has not been used in many years. And this is where they're standing right now. They've kind of been looking around, trying to find their way. They realize, when they look upon the area that they're in, they realize that the left side that they're looking at is that the tunnel itself has been completely collapsed. And in front of them is the remnants of what looks to be some sort of rail car. And if they look into the rubble, they can see jagged pieces of metal, etc., rusted, etc., and it's just covered in dust and rubble. Apparently, either it was sitting there or it just crashed there. So they get out onto the tracks, and they're trying to look, check where they're at and what's going on, and they suddenly hear. Well, first they see a pinpoint of light, and they start to hear the sound of a train engine coming from the other direction. They watch as the rails from the rusted rails that are in front of them start to light up with electricity, crackle and spackle. It just lights up with electricity. Their hairs are standing up on end, just standing there. And that is where we left off. And you guys hear this coming at you very fast. The lights are coming on. The lights getting brighter and brighter. What do you do?
Grab Miss Playfair. Down on the ground.
Thank you. Yes, let's all, just stand clear. Sounds like a safe bet.
Okay, So as you're looking at the map that I presented for you, ladies and gentlemen that are watching, I've got a little map of the area, this subway area. There's a platform there, and on the other side, and there is a rail car that's damaged and broken apart. You're standing in the middle there. There should be two rails, I believe, there in there. I think. And you are on the one that is closest to you, the southernmost rail, and that's what appears to be the crackling of the energy is coming from. You guys are all kind of in the general vicinity.
Can we reach onto the platform, or is it too high?
The platform is about 3 foot up off the ground, maybe 3.5 foot up off the ground. So it's going to take a little bit to get up there. Yeah, and
I'll probably need a leg up, but the young men should be able to do this.
I'll give you a leg up.
Okay. Well, first things first. We're going to have everyone that's down here. Let's see, Johannes, and you would probably have been more in the center, along with Eric, between the two railroad tracks. Because you were, kind of feeling your way, looking your way through this stuff. Lennox, where would you have been, or where do you think you would have been?
I feel like equidistant to Dr. Finley and potentially Mr. Rika, but not fully sure. Kind of maybe by myself-ish.
Okay. Either way, it doesn't matter. You should be able to get to the platform in time. However, I need each one of you to make a dexterity check. There's tons of rubble on the ground, things that you could trip over, and you have to climb up to the platform. So if everyone could make a dexterity check for me, that would be fantastic.
Of course I fail.
Of course I fail.
Okay. So, Lennox, you start to make your way, get out of the way, and you're heading over towards the platform. You trip and fall, and are basically kind of dusting yourself off. The light is getting brighter and brighter. The sounds are getting just unbelievably loud. It's starting to become deafening. Johannes, you poor Margaret has fallen in front of you. She's clamoring to get up. You're trying to help her to get up. Literally, the light is barreling down upon you at this point in time.
Oh, these horrible skirts!
And then it literally turns into a tunnel that appears to be maybe about 100 foot ahead. And it turns directly into a completely different direction. You can see it off in the distance, some light from the different cars that are on it. It looks like an active railway. It just doesn't go this far. But it turns to the left and heads into another tunnel that you cannot see. So, fortunately, you're okay.
Doctor, was that one of your opioids again that made us see this? Did you give us something? What the heck is going on?
No, we have all seen this. I'm afraid.
Actually, I have a sort of out of character question.
Mm-hmm.
We saw the electricity crackling along the rails. I don't think trains were electrified at this time, were they?
They actually
should have been solely steam. They were.
They
okay.
were. Believe it or
So
not,
this is not supernatural electricity.
No.
Possibly.
No, this is actual electricity, but it could be a combination of the two. They were electrified in some areas they were not. So you're not sure. It's possible that the train could have been complete, but you literally just watched a steam engine just going chugga 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 down the. So that's obviously not being propelled by electricity.
But I mean, it helps. It helps. It helps my sanity if I know that there actually is power lines down here.
Yeah. Well, of course, you reason it away. So yes, of course, that's what it was. That's what they always happens.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's nothing wrong, and it's not doing it now. The train is passed. It's probably just something that happens as it passes, and everything's fine. So, my question to you, Margaret, is: you are now in the middle of a subterranean, basically for all intents purposes, cave. What are you wearing? Are you wearing are you dressed for this type of thing?
I do not have clothes for this type of thing. I'm a product of my times.
Okay.
So I mean, I did. Being shipwrecked really, changed my life for the better. I learned to cope without wearing 7 layers on top of one another.
Always good.
But I mean, I'm getting to the point where, yes, it is horribly scandalous, but I'm getting to the point where I am thinking I'm going to do like one of them crazy young things and start wearing trousers. Because underskirts are, they trip you if you are not careful when they're ankle length and all.
Absolutely. So, and that's actually part of the reason why you fell, is you tripped over your dress, and the skirt was a little too low, and you're trying to go as quickly as you can, and you fell. So, with that question in mind,
also,
go ahead.
I will say, I mean, I love Jessica to bits. She is a wonderful assistant, but just getting dressed without her takes twice as long too, because nobody to do up the buttons in
the corset and all that.
I do really. I mean, seriously, the clothing needs to change.
All right,
another
so
50 years or something.
that's the reason why I brought this up. You guys, you guys all came down into this rickety old elevator. An engineer who's been here since the eons of time, probably since the hotel was pretty much opened, kind of helped you down. And he said, "Yeah, it's all right over there. This is it. What it was once one time. I haven't been down here in probably 30, 40 years. I'm surprised the lift even works at all, really." So. The question is, you're basically standing around and all this. Do you feel prepared for this? If you feel prepared for this, we can move forward. Otherwise, I'm giving you the option. You might want to consider, because you're literally kind of in basically, like I said, it's like a tunnel in rubble and everything else.
The dress is ruined anyway, so, milady, if I might suggest.
And we've got Eric.
No, exactly.
Indeed.
And I mean, this is the thing that the British Empire operates on. We can conquer.
Well, there you go.
Keep calm and carry on.
Very well. I just wanted to give the option there. So, you dust yourself off. Those of you who've fallen, you get up onto the platform. You kind of look around. Believe it or not, there is a skeleton up there. Lennox, you're the first one to get up on that platform. It's just all kinds of crap on there, and it's like a 3-inch layer of dust. Skeleton is there holding on to what looks to be a very old newspaper. Well, a piece of paper. You can't really tell what it was. It's almost, if you tried to touch it, it would almost fall to pieces. But there doesn't seem to be any exit or entryway onto this platform, at least that you can see. There's a door on the other side, just behind where the bench is, where the skeleton's sitting on, just to the behind it and to the right. There is one door, but it appears to be rusted, and well, you think you might be able to open it, but likely will take a crowbar or something to get this thing open.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
Beyond that, go ahead.
Oh no, I just
no.
I don't think I'm too keen or too worried even with escaping right now. I'm too fascinated by a skeleton in London on a platform and nobody has taken care of it. Oh dear, that's mighty curious. So yeah, he will immediately stagger over. I mean, obviously not a medical investigation in this sense, but it's more a curious investigation. Oh, were the bones gnarled at, or were they shaven off the skin or flesh? Has there been any signs of bullet wounds, or was the skull fractured or crushed? And then obviously, is there any clue to the time period vis-a-vis the newspaper or paper in his hand?
Right. So, like I said, the paper it looks like it once was a newspaper, but the thing is, like I said, once you touch it, it's almost just falls to pieces. I want you to make a spot hidden roll, please.
Could I estimate how that would, or how long that would take in order to...
Well, that all depends on your spot hidden.
That is a success. Hi, 52 out of 56.
All right. You guesstimate that this is probably, this platform was probably one of the first ones put up. So it was 1863, I believe, was the year that the first the tubes were first created. So we're now 1893. So you're thinking 25, 30 years old, probably. So you guesstimate that that's what's going on with him. Otherwise, as far as looking at the skeleton, you can't really see any discernible just by looking at a skeleton and without having the proper tools and
of course.
Stuff like that. Yeah, there's no obvious sign of what caused his death. So
I'll probably still call doctor. Look at this, most curious. A skeleton on a platform. Mighty. That's a nice find, isn't it?
You think that this is the thing we should focus on? I think we should. Eric, you felt that Jessica is somewhere around here, didn't you?
Yes. I think we should focus on the living for now. And I mean, this poor gentleman has been here for a while, and he doesn't seem to be suffering anymore. So I'm sure we can. I don't know. Maybe when all this is over, we can alert the authorities so they can come down here and give him a proper burial.
Still, I would walk up to Lennox and whisper to him that let's make a note of where this body is. We might come later and see if this can be useful to us. We can always use the dead.
Begrudgingly, well, of course. That's not going to be any precursor or incentive for what could happen, right? Yes, no, everything will be fine. We'll find Jessica. Yes, of course.
Yes.
And he kind of just like walks away a bit. This couldn't be a female body. You can tell, right? No. Okay, let's go.
Yes. But is it? Is that skeleton a female? did the skeleton belong to a female? Can I check? I assume the doctor could tell, right? Maybe.
He certainly could. You could take I'll want you to take a medicine check, please.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case. I'm certain that's not her, but medicine. Right? That's success, regular success.
It's definitely a male.
All right. Okay. I'll relay that information to Lennox at least.
Okay. Well, good. I mean, not that we want to upset Miss Playfair, do we? And he just walks behind him. But I think he will step back quickly and just grab a couple of bones, at least some hand bones or finger bones. And just, it's just what he does.
For your collection,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
For your collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So, as you move around, sorry. Apologies. Okay, so as you move around, you literally can hear the echoing of all of your footsteps, just kind of moving around, feet on gravel. You get a few of the bones, you tuck them away. As I said, I think we had just two lanterns for this particular area, right? Who had the lanterns? I believe it was two.
Eric has one.
Yeah.
I would say so as well. And probably Miss Playfair.
Okay. All right. So, as I said,
Sure, Sam, if I can remember.
Now, just to give it a little bit more description in the area that you're in, as I said, that there's the platform. You got two railways there below. The ceiling is curved and upwards, maybe about 20 to 25 feet up in the air. So it's not massively huge, but it's definitely larger than the actual tube itself. The tube itself still kind of narrows a little bit more, and it's still like 20 feet high, but it's basically what you can see right now. And the light that is given or afforded to you by the lanterns, you can see roughly the area that you're looking at right now on this particular platform. But as far as going into the tunnel, you can't see much, but you are hearing some strange, weird noises. You're not sure what's going on down there, but something. So, what are you doing?
What kind of noises? I mean, whispering, footsteps, water dripping. What?
Well, you're hearing. When I say weird noises, I should say there's some things that are indiscernible. Yeah, you hear the people as they walk around, the scuffling of their feet on the gravel. You hear that. You hear occasional drip of water somewhere in the cavern somewhere, but beyond that, you just kind of hear some groans. Like you're not sure. You pretty much discern that it's probably the other tubes, the other trains in the other tube system. They kind of rattle through, and they kind of make these groaning sounds as they go through their tubes and whatnot. And that's probably what this is. At least that's all you can discern. It just sounds like something's going on deep down the way, and it sounds mechanical. So you pretty much figure that that's probably what it is. But there's no telling for certain unless you go check it out.
Well, we must press on. Jessica is somewhere here, right? We need to do what we can to find her. And as for the noises, I mean, we're not used to this kind of surroundings. There's got to be all kinds of I don't know, water pipes and all the things behind these walls. Houses, cellars, factories, for all we know.
Well, yes, and all
So-
the vagrants and vagabonds trying to find their treasures down below. Yes, no. Hey, it might be just something minor. No need to worry, Miss Playfair. Just, as they say, keep calm and carry on.
No, I'm not worried at all.
Oh no, it's more an reassurance for himself rather than for you.
Johannes,
Yes, I'm just telling myself to. I've stood a shipwreck and a witch and all the things.
Johannes, roll your clairvoyant ability, please. Oh boy, yep, you really failed that. So, okay. 95 to 40. Okay, so Eric, same thing. Can you do your particular ability? EMF fields. Okay. So apparently this whole business with the train has kind of got you guys a little bit rattled. So it's a little hard to focus, but you do believe that if going down the tunnel in the other direction is the right direction where Jessica is likely at least in that direction. So what are you guys doing?
Please, let's keep going.
Yeah, press on.
Okay. Can I have a marching order, please? Or abreast, doesn't matter, whatever. This is pretty wide. You can tell, but I need to kind of know who's in front and who's in the middle, who's in back. So
I think Eric, since he's carrying the lantern, he will walk in the front.
okay.
Johannes, since he's carrying a gun, will also walk somewhat in the front.
Okay. We'll say you're kind of like a staggered, right? Kind of staggered. Okay.
Awkwardly enough, because that's just, I feel like something Lennox would do. He's just behind them, and he's occasionally just like creeping up to their ear. Do you see something? Is there something? Oh, is there something? Oh, is there something there? Oh, can you see something? I don't know.
So, all right. So we have Eric, Johannes, Lennox. Who I'm guessing Margaret. You're going to be behind Lennox, and then are you pulling up the rear, Dr. Finley?
Yes, I think Dr. Finley will be at the back since all the front seats are taken. But he doesn't seem to actually care about Jessica much, so he's at the back.
Okay.
He's more like an observer at the moment.
Okay. Okay. All right. So that's the order then. The order is going to be Eric, Johannes, Lennox, then Margaret, and then Dr. Finley. Okay. As you make your way down the tube, again, you're having to go over there's chunks of rubble that have fallen out of the ceiling. You notice it as you go by. It's like these massive chunks, 2-3 foot wide chunks. They're like boulders almost. You assume that maybe there's another tube line above this one. And as it goes by, sometimes it causes this to happen. In fact, the whole place starts to rumble just a little bit. And you hear above you, a train must be going by above. And everything dust settles, trickles down from the ceiling. You're kind of, covering your mouth. And so as you make your way down, you get about, I'm going to say roughly, I'm going to say about 500 feet. And this is where you find that there's the rail Y's off into the left direction, and there's a tunnel that leads off into, that's where you saw the train go to. But up ahead, you do see a faint bit of light. Looks like there might be another platform up there.
Right, so let me get this straight. The tunnel that we were following forks in two directions, left and right.
Well, no. Apologies. If you recall, the train was coming directly at you, and then it suddenly veered away to the left.
Yes. Okay.
So the track that you're on still remains going straight, but you see that where the train veered to the left was another rail that veered to a different tunnel. So it's just a Y, or offshoot, off ramp, whatever you want to call it. Right. So that's what happened. Mm-hmm.
And where is the light coming from?
You're not sure. It's kind of faint, but you think, based on what you think it might be another platform.
Yes, but
But
it's not.
that is straight ahead. That is not the offshoot.
No, it's straight ahead. That's correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the train had to come from somewhere. There's got to be a busy line. It wouldn't go through a dead station line.
But
So we
if
probably
there
want
was
to be careful of more traffic, but still, if that's where it is.
yeah. So is this a live part of the underground system then? Since there was a train here.
Well, you figure based on what you're. Well, I would like you to make a spot hidden. I can give you, depends on how good you do. I will give you what information you find. So yeah, spot hidden, please.
Roll for it.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question, but yes, afterwards maybe.
There we go.
Nice. Okay. So, yeah, it doesn't take too much to figure this out. Honestly, when you look down at the rails, you clearly see that the rails that you're walking upon are covered in dust and rubble, and the ones that are just where that train veered off are nice, clean, heavily used. They're still somewhat rusted in spots. You got railroad spikes there, and it's still a little bit rusted, but it's obviously in use. The other ones where we were following are not. So you know that the tunnel continues on straight ahead. You just see a faint bit of light far down. You're not sure how far.
I urge the others to maybe we should hurry up because we're on a live track here. I get a bit uneasy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Let's hurry. Let's not get caught by another train here. That wouldn't be.
You just heard someone screaming.
A good end.
You heard a man screaming down the end ahead of you. Yeah, you just heard it.
Is it coming from where the light is?
You're not sure.
I know, bad weather, isn't it? I scream back down the tunnel.
Since I'm at the front, I increase pace. I don't run, but semi-run towards the light.
Don't run, semi-run. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you sort of do a light
Power
jog.
walk.
Yeah, a power walk.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So a power walk, as you say. Yeah, as long as you've got the lantern. You keep going and you keep going. You look behind, you see the lantern lights of both Margaret and Johannes, and they're getting fainter and fainter. And you're keeping going, and you're following where the light's at, and it's getting fainter and fainter. The ones behind you, until you look back, you can no longer see the lantern lights from Johannes and Margaret. You still see the light in front of you. It has not gotten much brighter.
Wow.
hearing women
Where am
screaming.
I? Well, oh no!
Down at the end.
Now I run
I think
You ran
because now I
towards.
don't.
Lennox will also
Okay.
run after him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just as he did no longer lost sight of you guys, you lost sight of him. So Lennox, you're basically taking off in a run. Okay. What's your guys' speed? That's important here.
Oh.
I have
8.
7.
5 movement rate.
8.
Okay. So
I have an 8.
you're 8. So all right. Yeah, Lennox, you're like trying, and you actually kind of catch up at least enough to catch sight of Eric, but you haven't quite got up to him because he's actually moving. He's booking, and it's maybe about another 500 feet to 1,000 feet before you finally get to where that light source is. And just as I stated before, it's another platform. This one is not very big. It's like half the size of the one that you were just at. In fact, it's only like maybe 25 feet long. And it's not quite as nice. There's one single bench here. And beyond that, there is nothing else here. There's just a bench. There's no doorway here. There's no doorway leading to this. It's strange.
Is there any indication as to what the light source was that I saw?
You see one, a barrel. Looks like a barrel that apparently has a sort of like a brazier, almost like a brazier. Excuse me. A brazier that is still, it's lit. So clearly someone has been here and they tend to this. So it's not extremely bright, but it's enough to afford you some light in the area. But you keep hearing all these strange noises of people, and it kind of fades in and out, and it's you're not even sure really what the hell's going on here. But whatever it is, it's beyond strange.
Is the platform does it look like it's in use? Like, is it dusty? Is there rubble, or does it look?
Does not look dusty. A little bit dusty, but it's nowhere near like where you were at.
Yeah.
It's definitely, you feel like it's definitely been in use. So
Yeah.
we're gonna get back to you just a minute. Lennox, you arrive upon scene as well. Just as he's looking at this stuff, you managed to get to yourself. So you guys have gotten to that area, and we're going to get back to you in just a moment. All right. The rest of you, Margaret, Dr. Finley. Margaret, I want you to make a spot hidden for me.
Okay. Here goes. Beach ball. There we go. Success. Almost hard. Would I want to spend 1 luck on that to make it hard?
What's your history on occult? Do you have a cult? Or no?
I do. I do have a pretty serious occult.
Okay. Is it better than your history? If it is, which I'm going to be amazed at. That's fine. You don't need to. You don't.
Yeah,
need to
no history for me.
No history. All right.
Oh, actually,
all right.
I do. Yeah, no, sorry. I just found it. Sorry, I was looking in the wrong column. No, it's slightly better. They're both decent.
Actually, I want you to make an occult roll. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You find something on a piece of rubble. Go ahead.
Here you go.
Look at that.
And
Nice.
that's another almost hard success.
Yes, I did. You don't need to go any further, given what you found. So
Ooh,
you find
it's a
symbol.
Triskel.
Yes, it is. In fact, pagan symbol, Celtic in origin, as far as you can tell, which is not exactly uncommon for the area. I mean, it is London. It is this. Celtic symbols are all over the place. But it's just a little bit strange to find it in the middle of a subway tunnel. I don't know. It just seems a little odd. And it seems
how big is it, and how big is the piece of rubble?
The piece of rubble is maybe about, I'm going to say 10 inches in diameter. Okay, so this is not very large.
But it is too large to comfortably carry around.
Yeah, if you had a pack.
It's not like stick in your purse kind of thing.
No, not at all. Not even remotely. No.
Well,
it's about the size of a like I said, a small boulder. It's a foot in total foot in diameter.
Well,
go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just a few minutes, I guess, away from the second platform and the group reconvening and all. Hopefully. So I think I'll take it and carry it that far, so that then we can regroup there and have a think about if this is important or not.
Okay. So, it's not that heavy. It's very simple. The funny thing that you do realize whenever you pick it up is this stone does not appear to be the same kind of stone that's around you.
Mm-hmm.
So, wherever this came from, it wasn't right here. So.
Well, I'm glad that I could pick it up without making a power roll. That's nice already.
Yeah, it's not that.
So yeah, I carry it to the platform.
Okay. So, are you pointing this out to anybody when you find it? Dr. Finley's still with you. Are you both still heading? Are you heading to the other platform where the other two went? Well, you can't see them. Remember?
Oh yeah.
They're completely out of sight right now. But if you move in, you probably catch a glimpse of them soon.
Yeah, I felt bad about leaving the doctor behind. Him not being a super fast walker and me having the light. So, but I do try and urge him on.
Okay.
And I think it cannot, he cannot miss me stooping and picking the thing up, and it's, not tiny, so I'm not hiding it.
Right. Okay. So, you guys make your way up the tunnel. You pick up the little piece of rubble. It's not that big. It's not that heavy, but it's a little cumbersome, but you can handle it, no problem. So you find your way, like I said, probably another 1,000 feet. And you find your way, get to this other small little platform. It's about 20 feet in length, 20 to 25 feet in length. Looks similar to the one you were at, but as I said, it's just a little mini platform. There isn't a door here. Then there's a bench that Lennox and Johannes and Eric, they're all just kind of looking around at this right now. Are you guys up onto the platform, or are you just staying down below, or what do you do?
After the warning from Eric, definitely up on the platform.
I would expect.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so all three of you hop up onto the platform. I'm assuming you help Margaret up and the good doctor.
Yes.
Or are you, if you guys want to do that?
No,
Okay.
it would be a coordinated effort of whoop, both hands, one on each.
Right. We're going to say that you did that without any difficulty. It's not that difficult. It's just a matter of hoisting up. For the viewers at home, the piece of rubble that Margaret found, it has what it looks like. It kind of looks like a shamrock, a spirally type shamrock. It's a pagan symbol, and just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like, because I know you can't see it. So, but it's a pagan swirly type shamrock, and there's a big circle around it. So that's it. I've been right behind you, but in a way that's beyond strange. So you hear this loud clanging bell. And you hear a train coming. See a light kind of showing its way down, kind of looking. You look out, you peer out to the left, looking down the tunnel, and you watch as there's a headlight there. It's coming. You're not sure. It doesn't seem to be moving too fast, but it is coming. And it gets closer, and slowly coming into view is a single car. There is no engine before it. There is no engine after it. There is nothing propelling this thing as far as you could tell. It slowly rolls in front of the platform and squeaks to a halt as the brakes grind against the metal wheels. As you look upon this, well, what looks to be a relatively old car, you've seen other, tube cars before. This one looks pretty old, several years old. But then all of a sudden, as you watch upon it, the door slides of its own accord, open.
Is there a light on in the car?
Yes. Small, very, very, very small light. Yeah.
Can we discern if there's anybody inside?
Oh, absolutely. It's a very small car. It couldn't hold more than maybe 12 to maybe, I'm going to say 15 to 20 passengers at most. It's a very small little railway type car. It doesn't look like anything that you've ever seen before in any other train or tube. It's literally meant for just a small party of people. But you can see a dim light above, which is strange because, again, there is nothing powering this for some reason, but there is a slight dim light. It's not very bright, but it's enough to at least be able to, not trip over yourself. But if everybody's looking at it, I'll have you all just make a spot hidden for me.
Well, I'm rationalizing that this is something that's used to carry workers, which is why I've never seen it, and why it's self-propelled, probably electrified, and this is strange, but this is just the kind of thing that Jessica's kidnappers might have commandeered or something.
Okay, so looks like Margaret, you failed pretty bad.
Which is why I'm coming up with that outlandish theory.
Right. So Eric, you're kind of looking around. First, I'm going to go with yeah. So Eric, you basically are just trying to look around the entire. You kind of peer inside. You don't step in, but you do peer. You just sort of peer inside, looking around. It looks relatively clean. It looks like it has been used. It's just like a simple any other conveyance. There's nothing that you can see that's really out of the order. The only thing that's just mind-boggling is how this thing is moving. Dr. Finley and Lennox, especially you, Lennox, you kind of shine the lantern that you have, and you just glanced in just momentarily in the interior of it, but you're more interested around the framing of the thing. And you go towards the back and you hold your lantern out, and it sort of, you get it down low and you kind of crouch down over the edge of the platform, and you see what you believe and is some sort of symbols. Go ahead and make an occult roll for me.
Certainly.
Okay.
That's not too much. That is. Well,
unless you want to push it.
Well, can I spend luck on that as well?
Of course, if you want to. Is it either one or the other? Yeah. So yeah. It's up to you. I mean, I don't know how far you are away from just a normal success.
Normal success I can do with luck. That's only 13 points of luck. That's doable. Yeah,
I will tell you that even with that, what information you garner, it's not going to give you much more.
Okay.
So, a lot of times when I have you guys roll these rolls, it's not just about whether if you fail, you don't get any information, and if you pass, you get all the information. No, it's about how close you are to it, what's going on with it, what information you're able to glean. You see several glyphs all around the edge of the framing that look to have been chiseled into the framing. And you can tell from your own experience in the occult and the arcane area that these are definitely arcane symbols. And when you take your light away, they actually kind of glow, a blue luminescent glow.
That's not worrying at all.
Okay. I think, yeah, I would point carefully, stepping back and pointing out to the others.
Okay.
Oh,
And-
that must be radium paint.
Radium paint? Would it... I don't think he would reverse too much with scientific knowledge, so... Yeah, it wouldn't ring any bells to him.
The question is anyone on board the car?
That would be no. There's no one there.
No.
Mm-mm.
Right. I think that Dr. Finley would step inside then
Okay.
and take a closer look at the glyphs
Well, the glyphs aren't inside; they're actually on the outside.
on the outside.
They're on the frame of the
Frame.
car. Yeah, around the basing, around the frame of the car.
Right.
The only way you would really see it is because that Lennox specifically looked in those areas.
All right.
So
But-
right.
Right,
Yeah.
but still, he would still step inside and
Mhm.
figure out how this thing is moving. There must be some sort of an engine inside, or someone is, I don't know, moving it.
Okay, make a spot hidden roll for me, please.
Yeah, okay. Sure, so I step inside.
Do you want to take the lantern inside? Would that help you?
Oh, yes, I assume that there is enough light, but if it's darker.
Yeah.
Does this car have glass windows?
Oh yeah,
So can,
Mhm.
can peer through, right?
yeah.
Okay, so
but
maybe a little bit of light shines
well,
inside.
not really. I mean, the light that's in there is literally in the center of the roof of the car. It is just a barely. It's just enough to give you whether or not that's the chair or that's the floor. It's very, very dim. So you probably.
Well, I'm very happy to pass you the lantern if you want it.
Well, let's say that since I failed my spot hidden roll, I'd like to push it, and maybe I step outside again, grab the lamp, the lantern,
Okay.
and step inside, and I don't know, maybe if I fail, I trip or set something on fire or something like that.
Let's hope not. So, all right, go
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, still failed. it.
No, that's just terrible. So, regardless of whether or not you failed that or not, you did go inside with the lantern. You are able to discern absolutely there is no way that you can see about how anybody's driving this thing or propelling it. You do, however, see some sort of plaque up towards the front.
Do I have enough time before the repercussions of my failed push roll? Okay.
Well, I'm yeah, you can go up there.
Right, right.
It's pretty obvious. This is not it's literally just a little plaque that says kindly have a seat and enjoy the ride.
Oh,
All right. Okay. Well, I'll step outside again since I'm not
Okay.
dead yet. And hey, you should all see this. There's something inside. There's a small plaque that says that maybe we should sit down and let's see where this thing takes us. This is
Maybe
not
we should.
normal. Yes.
Lennox pops his head.
Yeah, I think I'm Eric is very curious. I also step into the carriage, but I want to look for a power source, like an electric source that could propel this thing.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
possible.
follow Eric.
Okay. Do you have mechanical or anything like that? If not, I'm just going to make you make a spot hidden. But if you had like something mechanical, might be able to roll on that.
I don't think I have very much in
Okay.
that department.
Well, I'll tell you what. Regardless of what you have, I want you to make a mechanical roll first. You can see what you come up with there, and then if that doesn't, then I also want you to do a spot hidden. So
yeah. Absolutely. Is that the mech repair skill?
yes, that's what I'm thinking of.
Okay. Yeah. Let me give you that. That's a fail, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then a spot hidden.
Mm-hmm.
That is a hard success.
Okay. So, as far as mechanically speaking, you're like, well, how you're wondering to yourself, how could this possibly be running at all? How could it be moving at all? There's no reason for it. But then you do notice towards the back, there is what looks to be a sort of a trapdoor covering with a handle on it.
I move towards it and see if is it possible to open it.
It looks like it'll open. It does have hinges on one side, but you feel a little nauseous. In fact, you're feeling more than nauseous. It's
I
really,
approach the trapdoor.
As you approach the trapdoor,
I see.
you were feeling slightly nauseous when you walked in, but now it's pronounced.
So something's coming from there.
I'll get to you.
Okay, I take as the nausea washes over me, I take a step back away from the trapdoor and see if it's if it gets better.
It lightens just a little.
Yeah, okay, so it seems to be coming from there.
Yeah.
That's probably whatever drives this thing. I'm inclined to just sit down and see where this carriage takes us, but I'll consult the others first.
Okay. So what are the rest of you doing? Eric, not Eric, but Johannes, Lennox, I know you were looking at the stuff outside. You saw that Dr. Finley went inside with the lantern.
Yeah, I followed, and that was my goal.
Okay. All right. So you notice Eric is just literally kind of, you've seen this happen with him before. He suddenly, you get this look of like, they call it the Fuji face. It's more of just like, oh, and he's not feeling well at all. He just kind of, you can see that he's struggling with this. He takes a couple steps back, and the feeling, the look of paleness that was on his face kind of washes back just a little bit. And he looks up at you and points over.
Mr. Lauritsen, you all right? Are you all right?
Yeah, it's just that I'm very sensitive to electromagnetic fields, and there seems to be something emanating from that hatch. So that's why I'm taking a couple of steps back. Maybe if someone else that's less sensitive wants to check it out, that would be.
Could you come close enough to light? And then I will try to open that hatch.
Yeah, sure. I just need to stand a couple of paces back, but I'll hold out the lantern if you need it.
Before you guys do that, sorry, real quick, Dr. Finley, I want you to make a roll on your ESP.
ESP?
Yep.
You're right.
Same with you, Lennox.
Yeah, the hard one. Hard success.
Yeah,
okay.
So Lennox would have been outside, kind of just...
Doesn't matter. Still want you...
up. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Dr. Finley, you clearly hear the sound of a boom, 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 boom. That's kind of getting louder in your ears, kind of echoing. And you turn and you look and you see that they're both Eric and Johannes are stepping towards the trap door, what looks to be some type of a trap door in the floor. And you could hear this boom, boom. It is clearly to your ears. This is the sound of a heart.
It's coming from the trapdoor, right?
Correct.
Right. I'll try to stop them. Then I'll yell at them, shout at them. Wait! There's something down there. Wait, this is. Wait, can't you hear it?
And in fact, Eric, as you get closer to it as well, you start to feel the waves of nausea literally kind of come in that same rhythm. Boom, 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 boom. So what do you guys do?
There's something pulsating down there, but I think the curiosity is stronger than fear. Do you want to open it up, Mr. Ricker?
I have to say, I'm interested. Is this a two-hand latch or a hatch or a one-hand hatch?
It's based on the thickness of the flooring of this. You probably think you're going to need both your hands to do this.
Okay, nothing's bad is gonna happen when I pocket my gun and use both hands to open this hatch.
Okay, so you're gonna open it? Yes.
I'd be happy to give you a hand. I mean, so Eric holds the thing, and I'm not I'm not incredibly strong, but I think I can lift a hatch. We can do this. You cover it with the gun, and I lift the hatch.
Well, Margaret, while I applaud your attempt to get in, the problem is there's not very much room in here. The two men could probably get in there and get sort of close enough to this and kind of get this done, but three people trying to, because you remember on both sides of the aisleway are like benches that go up and down, so maybe you could climb over one of the benches to get to it, I suppose. Well, you tell me. What do you think?
Well, I'm thinking Eric with the light might be able to stand on one of the seats so he can light it well from above.
Okay. All right, that's fine. And you're going to lift the hatch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
I'll do that. I'll stand aside to make room for the others. Stand on one of the seats and just hold the light over the area.
Okay. So you hold the light over to the area. Johannes has his pistol ready. He's even cocked it. He's literally just does not want to be unready for something that's could possibly be horrible. Margaret, you grab a hold of the latch, and as you start to lift it, the latch is extremely cold. It's almost like a piece of ice, cold, and it's almost burning as you pull up on it. But it doesn't matter. You still push into it. You pull onto it. You dig your legs into it because it feels so heavy, and then it flies open and bam onto the other side is the trapdoor, and you kind of stumble back and away, and you peer on what's inside. There, below the board, you see the chest of a man that has been cut open, ribs removed, spread out, and there seems to be cables attached to this man's heart. And it's like electricity is kind of zapping and zipping and zapping from his heart. You see the man, his eyes, you see his head right there. His eyes open up and look at you in a pleading format. His arms are stretched out beneath the floorboards. You can see that they're chained or banded to the actual machine of it in and of itself. The terrible boom, 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 boom gets louder. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I need all of you to make a scene check. So,
All but Lennox.
Mm-hmm. All but Lennox, sorry. Yeah, Lennox is not there.
Nope.
Nope. That's a fail.
Okay. Those of you that succeeded, it will be at least, well, hold on. Yeah, okay. Those of you who succeeded, 1. Those of you who did not, oh, geez. Yeah, that's going to be 2 points. Speaking of which, how close is... I know, Dr. Finley, you had some issues last time, so I don't know how close you are to losing it again.
Well,
I have 9 points to my floor.
Okay.
Check. I still need 8. Well, I'm already indefinitely insane. I even
Right.
a point of Sun Love's triggers a bout of madness. Yes, I'm already there.
Okay. All right. We'll get to that. So the rest of you did okay, right? Who else did not make it?
Me, just me.
That was just you. Okay. So
I also failed. Eric
Okay.
failed as well.
So you lost 2 points. All right.
Yeah.
So you literally see this human being whose heart seems to be just, it's beating, but it's not pumping anything, at least that you can tell, but it's crackling with energy. All over the body of this human being are all kinds of etched arcane symbols. And he looks up pleadingly and just kind of moans. What do you guys do?
Well, I think I'm going to be busy screaming for a little while.
Okay, that would make sense. Lennox, you hear this, everybody, you hear a gasp at the very least from everybody else, and Margaret is screaming. Like, it's not just a quick scream, it's pretty long and loud.
Yeah, I think he was still kind of leaning over and inspecting these colorful inscriptions.
Right.
And he was talking to nobody on the platform behind him because he thought there were people still around him. He didn't really notice them going somewhere. So I think there will be a short yelp from him that he's standing all by himself suddenly in front of this train.
Okay.
And then hearing the screaming of the others, he'll kind of settle down and it's like, good. Wait, why are they screaming? He'll then probably just run to one of the cabinets or doors and look in. No, well, actually, he'll just look into a window. That's probably the quickest thing.
Okay, well, you yourself even heard the heartbeat.
Okay.
Towards just a few seconds before this took place. I mean, it was like it was extremely loud, and then all of a sudden you get a ringing in your ears. All of you have this like ringing in your ears after it took place. But yeah, Margaret is she almost falls over herself in the she's trying to. She lifted up on this thing. She basically falls back into the seat, and she's peering down, and you're looking through the window, and you see everything that I just described with this human being. He actually sees your lantern, and he kind of glances over.
Would I see that from the window down in the middle of the rows? Amongst the
if you're right outside of it, yeah, you should be able to. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it won't be in great detail, but you will be able to see at least some of it. So.
Okay. Sure. Should I roll sanity for you as well?
Yeah. You've seen quite a lot, but I don't think you've seen anything like this.
No, regular success.
Okay, you're fine. 1 point.
Okay.
This, I would imagine.
What are you around me reacting to this?
Who?
I mean, Miss Playfair screaming.
Yeah.
Johannes will be catching himself very good. How's the doctor and Eric?
It's a good question.
I think Eric, because he stood up, so he has a very good view of this from slightly above, because he stood on one of the benches. and he just stares in disbelief, and eventually he mumbles that I guess we found the engine.
Okay, so one thing I can tell you, I also want you to make a Constitution check. The wave of nausea hits you like a ton of bricks as soon as she opens this thing up. And while you're leaning over and you say this business, well, because we found the engine, you literally, we'll have to see what happens, but yeah.
That's an extreme success. I keep myself.
You keep everything down. You didn't. It didn't even kind of come up a little. You just. It was a extreme wave of nausea. You fought it off.
Yeah.
And it passed.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay,
yeah.
All right. So everybody but Lennox is inside this thing, I think. Yes. And okay. So what do you guys do? What's the plan here?
Well, I think I'm in a bout of madness, so I won't behave normally.
Yeah.
I think that Finley is fascinated by this man in front of him, so he will walk next to the trapdoor that's currently open. He's down there, right? He's down there in a hole.
Absolutely.
Right?
If you can imagine like a foot and a half square, well, actually, it'd be more like a 2 foot. It's pretty big size, fairly decent size. And if you can imagine seeing underneath the edges a guy with his arms like this, and his arms are kind of strapped out to the sides, and his chest is completely opened. It's crackling with this arcane energy. His eyes are kind of sparkle a little bit of glow occasionally here and there, but he's looking at you pleadingly, just.
Right. Okay. Right. So Dr. Finley would sit next to him, on the floor next to the trapdoor, and pull out his notebook, and his pen, and name and occupation. What's your name, sir? Alfred. All right, Alfred. So would you say that you feel all right? Are you all right? Yes, all right. Now tell me, who performed this?
Dr. Finley, what is wrong with you?
We need to find out. This is a scientific miracle here. So, sir, you down there. Now, please tell me who performed this operation. Doctor, yes, Aubrey. Yes, Dr. Aubrey. Right. Well, please stand still. I want to check out your heartbeat. And I were the stethoscopes back then? I think they were, right?
They're stethoscopes. Yeah. Okay. This is going to be interesting. All right. So I'm assuming you're going to take out your stethoscope and try to listen. Where are you going to? Are you physically going to place the stethoscope on the heart, or are you going to put it on the side of the body? What are you going to do? Because it's
initially on the side of the ribs, and then directly on the heart.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, he has about
no. I get it. I need you to make a POW check, please.
POW check. Oh.
Yep.
Right. Fumbled 100.
Holy mother of God! All right. All right. So here's what's happened. You're like, okay, we'll check your make sure you have your perfect sinus rhythm for your heart. And make sure everything's working correctly. And you reach down and you put the diaphragm of the stethoscope on the side of this desiccated body. And it's almost as if pure energy just kind of cracked out, exploded, went directly through his skin and into your stethoscope. Crackling energies of light go straight up the stethoscope and crackling your head. And you go flying back 3 foot. Yeah. You're going to take. Yeah, that's 2 points of damage. And I think you're passed out cold. You're out cold. So yeah. So you guys just witnessed this. He goes flying backwards he's now laying into one of those benches on the side, and he's just kind of like this, and completely you could see smoke billowing from his ears. His hair on his head is smoking, and you see a slight trickle of blood from his nose.
I check if the doctor's still alive.
I'm rumbling incoherently. We need to put him out of his misery. The man in the carriage, not the doctor. But then, if we do that, how are we to get to Jessica? This is no, the poor man. But we have to. How do we? Oh no, doctor, no! What the hell? Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Language. But the smell of burning hair. Oh, and I
Stinks
I'm
horribly.
just, I'm just useless. I'm just out of it.
Okay. So, Lennox, you witnessed all this. Literally, you see Finley's body fly up in the air and slam up against the back of the window where you're standing at. It actually cracks the window somewhat, and he slumps down, and you see smoke billowing off of his hair, and you witnessed this power, this incredible power.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I think after the what we've seen inside in the first place, he already took out his little stuffed pet mouse, and he kind of just places it on kind of his hand, and just kind of both of them are looking inside. Now see there, that's when the unexperienced dabble in the occult, trying to understand the one majestic fiber of magic that is engulfing everything, that is encapsulating. And he kind of does the rigmarole of how people with non-magic abilities or non-occults are dabbling in things and often will be rewarded. Just to see Dr. Finley kind of flying off shortly after, and he just nods and kind of pulls out a bit of cheese that he kind of offers this stuffed mouse, but then eats it himself. And I think that's all he does. He's just witnessing this miraculous event here. It is like a television almost. Not that he knows what that is, but...
Did you go inside to say all this, or were you outside saying all this?
No, it's still outside in front of the window and just looking inside.
Okay. All right, so, yes, you check to see if the doctor is alive. Yes, he's alive. He barely, but he's taken some serious damage, and he's going to be out going Betty by for a little while. Probably, you have no idea, but he's breathing. His heart's, beating, albeit fast. It's definitely ducka 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 ducka. So
I'll sit him upright on one of the benches that he doesn't like crumbled in the corner somewhere, and then I turn to Eric. Eric, I have to agree with Miss Playfair. My first instinct is to put this man out of his misery.
Yes, Mr. Ricker, I agree. Now that the doctor is out cold and we don't have to worry about the Hippocratic oath, I would say we should end this. This isn't human. It's not normal. I could do it, and I if you hand me the gun, I stretch out my hand.
Margaret.
But I also have to agree with Miss Playfair's other point.
Okay, which is?
How do we get to Jessica if we don't have this carriage? Please, I look between the both of you like it was a game of tennis, and I have no opinion on the matter. Both that I can't see this man suffer, and then I can't kill the chance of getting to Jessica either. So I'm just paralyzed with indecision, hoping that you will help me solve this.
So you're saying we ride this demonic instrument to whatever it takes us, and then we end his misery?
I look at the man in the pit. Could we do that, please? Take us to Jessica, and then we promise. We solemnly promise we will not let you suffer anymore.
I don't
I
think
guess
he
all I
hears
get for an
you.
answer is ah.
He does hear you, maybe, but I don't feel right about it. Mr. Ricky, how do you feel?
I don't like any bit of it, but I don't know if I see another way. See where this is going. I look around. Do I see anything that looks like you would use it to control this horrible contraption? I mean, I don't see any levers and stuff that I am pretty sure of, but
Nope.
anything else that looks like it could be like conveniently placed sigils or whatever, like.
Nope. There's well, the rails, you know as well as, well, if you remember the hand pump rail things they used to do to get it right. Well, that was the only thing it could do. How it could be was powered by the two men pumping it. But as far as steering it, anything, no, there's no steering. It's just you're on the rails and you have to stay on the rails and where it's going to go.
I don't mean steering in that way. Steering. I mean steering and make it go at all.
Oh. Well, as far as what you can tell right now, well, there's no reveille thing, but you do remember looking at the plaque, and it basically said, relax, enjoy the ride.
Guess we only have to sit down? You two, take a seat. I'll get Mr. Morgan. And I go to the door of the cart and yell for Lennox. Mr. Morgan!
I pick myself up from the hatch and sit next to the unconscious doctor.
We apparently have to ride this unconventionally powered train.
You hear yourself speaking.
Would you please enter? I do. It sounds. I've heard you say much more disturbing things, but this is powered by the power of a human being. Anyways, could you come in and sit down? Else I'm afraid you might be left at this place.
He questions what if you heard what you just said, and just follows along. And as he passes you, it's like, I don't think you really heard what you said, but yes, okay, well, if you believe that this is, well, I hope you made your peace and your will and last testament.
Why he's still talking? I put him into a seat.
Okay, so Lennox is sitting down. Obviously, Margaret
Forcefully.
and Dr. Finn, forcefully sitting down. Right. Question, Margaret, are you leaving that hatch open?
Yes.
Okay.
And I will have, looked the poor guy, it's sort of in the eye, and have promised to release him once he's taken us to Jessica. Not like I know that he will do that, but of course, where else would he take us, right? So just help me find Jessica, and then we'll release you. I promise. Just a short moment more, please.
Okay. So, all of you managed to get inside the train car. And literally, as the last person sits in the bench seat, the door, of its own accord, shuts. very nice thunk, and the door locks. You're in here. Not going to be easy to get out if you want to. And just as that happens, cart starts to move and goes backwards. You're now traveling backwards. Well, actually, the benches are facing one another, so you could be either backwards or forwards. It just depends on how you're sitting. But it's going back.
But it's going back the way it came from. Yeah.
Correct. So, the energy where you are sitting, Margaret, it's crackling out. It's zapping all around. You see this heart is now, and it's just crackling with energy, and it's kind of zapping and arcing to the different the seats around you. In fact, one of it zaps right at your feet, and you literally feel your feet go numb for just a moment.
I think I'm realizing this is dangerous, and again, addressing the person in the pit, I'm like, I'm very sorry. Would you horribly mind if I close this hatch? I'm afraid it's not quite safe this way. We'll not forget what we promised. I reach down, and maybe I can actually manage to kick the hatch closed with my feet, so I don't have to lift my butt out of the seat and make the engine stop or something.
Yeah, you literally managed to kind of stretch your foot out and with all of your muscle, because this hatch is not light. You can see there's like maybe 1 inch to 2 inches of metal in this. It's clearly made to cover this, importantly. So yeah, you managed to get it pushed over, and with a loud ka-thunk, it shuts, and the crackling energy just kind of subsides, and you hear below.
I hold on to the unconscious doctor. Oh no, horrible.
I can just imagine Dr. Finley going, so, yeah, I don't know. We're going to say it's going to be a number of turns. I'm going to say you're probably going to be at least out for a couple hours, or at least I'll say now. Make it about an hour. So for right now.
Gosh.
So you're in the car, and it is literally moving. At first, it's just slowly creeping. It's kind of rocking a little bit as you sit there, and you hear all of you can still hear the terrible thumping of the heart below the floorboards, thumping its way along. And as you start to see lanterns that are alongside the tunnel, the tubes, and they kind of pass by, and you see off ahead what looks to be another platform, but this one's well lit. Clearly, this is a very commonly used platform. Just as you are about to getting it to there, the entire car leans to one side and is suddenly jerked to one side, and you are pushed into another rail leading off and to the left and down. Now you're going down. This is no longer a level, this is like no other train ride you've ever been on before. It starts to go down more and more. You can tell that the angle of the car has got to be almost a 45-degree angle. You're having to hold yourself up because the gravity is kind of pointing you forward. So those who are pointing in that direction. And after about 20 minutes, you go down for like 20 minutes, it starts to level out. And you find the car coming to a slow stop. in front of what looks to be some kind of cave entrance. But there are clearly two well-lit electric lights on either side of this cave entrance. The door, once again, you hear the ringing of the bell. And the door slides open. What do you do?
With the ringing of the bell, does the number of the rings change? Like, does it appear to be an actual clock chiming the hour?
Each time that you have heard the bell, it seems to be ringing 12 times. Always 12. I believe. Yeah.
So if the doctor's still out, I'm looking through the doctor's stuff for smelling salts, which a 19th century doctor surely must have.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's actually in a pocket right at the top. It's a pretty common thing he uses on a regular basis. So, yeah, he's got about 5 or 6 packets of the smelling salts. You grab one, give it a nice crack. You like shake it, and you kind of keep it away from your face, and you kind of put it in front of his face, and you smell a god awful smell. You've smelled this before, but someone's actually using smelling salts on you. You're like, wow, okay, this is a first. On the other side of the coin here. So, yeah, you basically start to come to, and you feel wet. Well, it's no longer wet. It's like some dried blood on your upper lip, and it's kind of trickled down the side of your face. Your stethoscope is still in your ears.
No one bothered to remove it.
No, they didn't. So, I can say this much: your head is unbelievably in a fog. Imagine having think of electroshock therapy and then amp it up by about 5 times, and that's what you got. So, yeah. So, the interesting thing about it is that, and I've been told that this is actually true, you have a singular clarity right now with your mind. Your mind everything seems clear. You don't know why? In fact, you recall some of your patients telling you whenever they had electroshock therapy that they suddenly felt everything's clear. They just understood everything. Everything was working just fine. So, yeah, you're groggy. You wake up and you still have your stethoscope in your ears, and you're looking at Johannes, who's like, "Wake up! Are you all right?"
Are you with us, Doctor?
Sorry, what? You have to speak louder.
The Lennox kind of just goes around the cabinet, like leaning from above. It's like, Doctor, you had a bit of a night out. You took some rest. Screaming, obviously, because he didn't hear.
Oh, right. I can't hear myself. What? And I'll figure out that. Oh, the stethoscope. So, can I remove it, or is it melted inside my ears? And
believe it or not, you would expect this to, you would with this kind of, you would think normally with electricity there would be burns, right? There would be a burn in and out. In this particular case, there is no burn.
Yeah,
it's just for unknown reasons. You've never experienced anything like this before. Although the thought does go across your mind of how you could power some of your things that you want to do.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. This kind of energy could be fantastic.
I think I'll stand up, jump up and go to the man. I assume that I realize I'm still in the train.
There's no jumping up. You slowly creak your way. I mean, literally, your body feels like it's just been dragged through a brush pile backwards and then run over by a semi truck. So every muscle in your body aches and hurts, and you kind of get yourself up, but you're clear. It's just you're like, oh my god, pain. So
Yeah, the mind is willing, but the body is not.
Very true.
All right.
All right. So the door slides open. What do you guys do? Sorry, go ahead.
Where are we?
Margaret, you're sitting next
we,
to him.
We went down.
Yeah.
We went down for an awfully long time. I have no idea where we. You said it took 20 minutes.
20.
So that's got to be yes, several kilometers, I guess. I have no idea where we are. We're probably on the gates to hell or something. But this is where the carriage took us, and I should very much hope that we are now about to find Jessica. So, gentlemen, do you think we're ready to disembark?
The question is, do we make good on our promise now?
Well, I don't know what the promise is, but we surely need to get back home, right? I think Lennox would be one of the first to kind of then leave the rest and kind of step outside to get an idea where they are. And if it is truly Dante's Inferno or something else.
Oh, so you're trying to get a fix on where you're at. Literally, the tunnel that you're in with the railway appears to continue on level, and it seems to start. You could see a little bit off in the distance that it starts to kind of go up. And at some point, you think it goes up relatively sharply, almost as sharply as it was coming down. It goes up pretty sharply as well. So, as far as where you're at, you're underground. Eric would probably be the best one to give you an idea on that one. If you want to give a roll.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to roll for my special ability.
Yep.
I suppose. Just give me a second here. Here we go. That's a hard success.
Based on the angle that you went down in, and the time frame, and how you're feeling at this moment, even though it was hard to tell at first because the engine for the car that just suddenly made you feel so unbelievably nauseous kind of interfered with that a lot. But once you're able to step out of the car itself, you know that you are deep under London. And you think, based on the fact that there's some moisture on the walls, that you're near the Thames.
Okay. I relay this information. I believe we're near the river, and we're quite far below the ground. And I think, I think it's going to be quite difficult to get back up unless we have access to the vehicle.
Do you sense Jessica? Is she around? Is she nearby?
Give it a roll.
Can I roll for that?
Absolutely.
Can I?
Fumble.
Also?
Wonderful.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Okay, so you
Who's the unluckiest
you
character?
basically kind of stand out. Tell me how your character would normally kind of focus himself when it comes to the clairvoyance. How does he do that?
He would probably pick like a small one of his trinkets in his pocket. I have a locket of some sort, and starts like playing with it, closes his eyes until he gets in sort of a trance.
Okay. So you do your normal thing, start to do that, and you hear off in the distance. You're convinced it's a scream, and it's absolutely Jessica. You're certain of it, and it's down the tunnel on the other end, going in the same the direction past, and what looks like down the way where it starts to go up. You're convinced.
I think we have to make haste. I pocket my locket and I take my gun out and I start running down that very tunnel
Okay.
heroically.
I try and keep up.
Okay. All right. So, anybody else following him, or are you just staying
Yes, Eric will follow as well.
there? Okay. That Finley, I don't know. I imagine you probably want to stay.
I will try to move. Maybe I will.
Lennox is gonna give you a hand there.
Oh right, yeah, yes. Thank you.
So while you're slow,
God.
you do manage to follow. So, okay. So Johannes, you are sprinting down, pistol in hand, sweat's beating off of your forehead. Even though it's slightly cool down here, it doesn't matter. You're literally hoofing your way, and you hear it again. And 20 feet in front of you is a big ass rat. It goes.
Rodents of unusual size.
There you go, an ROUS or ROEUS, unusual size. I remember those things. I love that movie. So, yeah, it would appear that, things got a little out of hand, and everybody around's kind of looking at you, going, "What?"
Yeah, I kind of wait for the rest of me to, catch up on me.
Yeah, they're all like heaving. Dr. Finley's like, "What is it?" He's heaving and going, I would imagine.
I heard a scream. I was convinced it was Jessica.
Where's she? Jessica! I call out.
This rat kind of moves its way towards you. Squeaks. Big rat, probably maybe 1.5 feet long. It is not small.
A giant rat fixing to be aggressive towards us, or is it?
It seems to be. It doesn't seem to be afraid at all. Yeah. Nope.
If the rat comes too close, I will have to shoot that thing.
Okay. Nah, it kind of gets a little closer. It raises its nose up in the air, and then turns around, gives another squeal, and scurries off. So
good for my party members. With my luck, I would have shot one of them.
Okay. So, what are you guys doing?
I
went
look
through
around,
the
confused.
tunnel, right? We went through the cave opening, right? That was the only way out, or
Nope. The actual
Further on.
You followed the tunnel that went down, because remember the train came to a complete and utter stop, and on the right hand side of it you've got this cave entranceway that looks like it's recently been dug. We didn't get to that part, but we were going to. And there is a couple of electric lights that are hanging outside of it. The cords actually go inside the tunnel in the other direction. You're not sure, but Johannes heard this scream. It was literally at the end of the tunnel, going the direction that the train car was going. Ran down there and realized it was a rat.
all right, okay.
I think I might have mistaken. The obvious cave entrance is probably the way to go.
Yes, I think we need to backtrack and get back to where we were, so we can go into the correct entryway.
Okay. So
Let's do that.
you guys cautiously make your way back to the car. You can see the light, kind of glimmering off the side of the car, off of the distance. It's still very dark in here. As long as you got the lanterns, you're okay. If you did not have these lanterns, you would not be able to see your hand in front of your face. It's that dark. So as you get back to the entrance, you see someone kind of staggering his way down the hill behind where the train came from.
Oh, dear.
He falls to his knees and tumbles to the ground. Rolls almost to the end of where the car is, and flat on his face. He's laying there covered in dust.
Is it a familiar person?
Well, you're a little far away to find out, unless you go up there and. Right now, he's laying face down, so it's a little hard to tell.
Yeah, Lennox would turn.
Is it apparent that it's not Jessica? Is there a chance it might be Jessica?
Pretty. You're pretty sure it's not Jessica. It's definitely a man. So.
Okay. In which case, I will not run into them. Head first.
Okay.
Well, I might be injured and in terrible state, but I'm still a doctor, so I will get closer to that person. He definitely seems to be needing some help, some assistance. So I will walk up to him. Yeah.
Okay. So you managed to get you actually were able to pick up a little bit of pace, and you kind of get up there, and this man hasn't moved much since you get over. And you kind of get it down to him. He's a pretty portly looking guy. I wouldn't say portly. He's just a little on the chubby side. He's got kind of a gut, black curly hair that's covered in what looks to be dust. His clothes looks to be some type of workman's type clothes, but they're also covered in dust. Work boots. Looks like like I said, it's complete. Like this looks like one of the dock workers that you've seen before in the type of clothing that he's wearing. And Dr. Finley, I'm assuming you're going to try and use one of your smelling salts, I'm guessing. Yes or no? What are you going to do?
I want to see what's wrong with him. Is he injured? Maybe is he wounded?
You don't see any obvious signs of injury. You just feel like that this man this looks like sheer exhaustion more than anything else. Maybe slightly dehydrated, but you can't really tell without checking his mucosa. So unless you turn him over and start doing an actual
I'll turn him over and maybe I ask for the others to shine the light on his face, so I can get a clear view of his state.
All right. So as they do so, they bring over a light for you. You kind of roll him over onto his back. You shine the light onto his face. This gentleman's probably in his mid 50s, we're going to say. Late 40s, early 50s. And you notice that he's just a little out of it. He's just exhausted more than anything else. You definitely can tell that he's dehydrated for whatever reason. But he's just kind of, he's a little bit out of it, kind of mumbling something underneath his breath. But and Margaret, I need you to make a spot hidden. Well, no, I'm not even going to say that. No, not even going to do a spot hidden. Without a doubt, you are in utter shock. Because the man laying there on the ground before you is the same man you saw in a vision who was walking atop the iron spires above a shipping yard and literally giggling and laughing and taking a nosedive off of it, plummeting to his death. And this is where we're going to take our break.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much, everybody who's watching. Thanks for watching, and we will be back in a few minutes. 10:15, right? So we'll see you then. Okay, welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a nice little break. So where do we leave off? Ah, yes. We talked about the investigators coming and finding a man at the open mouth of the cave that they just came across. I originally stated he had come down the hill. In fact, he actually crawled out of the mouth of the cave.
Right. And it seems that
What's
Lady Playfair recognized him, right?
and what's the diameter of the cave, just to get an idea?
It's literally, I'm going to say,
Like, is it a
5 foot
school tunnel, or is it like a construction tunnel?
Well, no, it's literally hand dug out tunnel. This looks like something a miner would do. This is a miner type thing. So it's probably in spots there are places where you can walk two abreast. Otherwise, most of the time it's single file. And at least as far as what you can see, you see a chain of lights inside, and this looks like it's been dug out relatively recently. And Margaret, I need you. Well, I'm not even going to make you make a spot hidden for it. Margaret, you immediately notice that the rock that they've been digging out of here is the exact same rock that you saw had the pagan symbol on it. So that chunk came from here.
Right.
So
I rushed to the man's side. I guess the doctor's attending to him also.
Right.
I not waiting, to see how he's doing, or if indeed he is conscious enough to hear my words or speak my language, or I'm by his side saying, I saw you fall. Where did you come from? Did you see Jessica?
Okay. So first, when you rolled him over, he basically kind of passed out, and the good doctor gave him some smelling salts, which kind of brought him out of it. The first thing you notice is not the fact that he's just covered in dirt. He's obviously been laying somewhere down here for a while now. But in his left hand, you see him holding something very tightly. And when you look at it closer, you realize it is a crucifix. It's in his left hand. When he kind of sort of wakes up too, he's
a papist.
Yes. Well, you don't know. Well, actually, it's possible. Yeah, you would know that the crucifix definitely looks like something from a Catholic background. You would know, from your own history. So, as you look upon this man, he's kind of sort of coming to after being given the smelling salts, and he just kind of wakes up, and he realizes that everybody's kind of sort of standing around him. He's holding onto the crucifix. He pulls it. As soon as he sees everybody, he snaps it to his chest. Yes, you're all here. Fantastic. You're all here. Excellent. Stay right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Yes, 5. You're all here. Praise be to Jesus. You're all here. That's fantastic. Oh, shh. You can't be too quiet. He's still listening. He's watching. You know who I speak of. I see him every night in my dreams. He tortures me endlessly. I pray God will give me peace one day. But it's... Do any of you have some water?
Did we bring any such things? I don't think so.
I think so.
No.
No, what? It's important. We've got to get out of here. There's hundreds, you see. There's hundreds.
Hundreds of what?
They're aiding him. They're worshiping him.
Wait, aiding who?
I can't say his name. Don't make me say his name.
Please, did you see Jessica? Did you see a young woman? Like this, tall and hair up to here, and no.
I think I heard a woman who was taken by my cell. I only just got out of here. They will find me. I'm gone. We've got to go. They'll kill us.
Yes,
all.
but we can't go without her. We need to find Jessica, and then we can go.
None of you understand. None of you understand the importance you are. How important all of you are. You are the only ones. I knew it back then. I knew it back then, but I ran. I was too afraid.
Talk sense, man. Help us.
My name is Nigel Higgins. Don't have much. Fine, I will help you find your friend, but we have to be quiet. Very, very.
Is he still on the floor?
Oh yeah, he's kind of sitting up. He's kind of sitting up, but with all of this, he kind of.
I will take him by the scruff and put him on his feet.
Okay.
And shake him semi-violently.
Okay.
So you're saying you are Brother Higgins?
What are you doing?
You were in Italy in 1870.
Who are you? How do you know that?
You exorcised the olive farmer's son, didn't you? You were there.
Yes, I was there.
So what happened there? Why does the Judah Society want all of you dead?
Because they're in league with him. The one that we kicked out. He's quiet. Bless the Mother, Jesus, Hail Mary, Mother of faith. So he literally says a Hail Mary. He's come back. For revenge. For revenge. I am the last. My God will save me. He will. But not before I help you to do your destiny. All of you. Your destiny.
Yes. What is our destiny? How do you know? And look at Johannes. How do you know who that is?
The dead priests. I told you about the dead priests.
You start to hear something coming down the tunnel.
He's the only alive of the dead priests. And they were all at an exorcism in 1870 in Italy.
You mean he's been missing for? No, you've not been down here 23 years. 7. Anyway.
No. They.
You wrote me a letter. Did you write me a letter?
Are you? You're Johannes Ricke. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I did write the letter. Though soon after I wrote the letter, I was attacked. And they brought me down here. Don't you hear that? They're coming. We're going to go. They can't be caught.
Does he indicate whether to like go back into the tunnel or something? Where does he want to hide?
Basically, he's saying we can't. Well, it doesn't matter whether we go in or go out elsewhere. You can't stay here because you're too in the open. So,
well, I'm happy to have him lead us wherever, so long as I can reasonably assume the way will lead me closer to Jessica.
Lennox appears behind the doctor's ear, once again a bit too close.
Just when I thought that I was the mad one, now we're following a man who's been digging tunnels underneath London. Are we crazy? Just for a woman that is missing? No. He's leading us to a trap.
And he will run forward, and I think again, as Johannes set him up so nicely, rip him up from the wall again and slam him back into the wall again.
Who is thy true master? Who is thy master indeed?
You know his name.
No, I don't. And I shake him again.
You? No. I can't.
I'll go with my ear like very close to his ear, to his mouth, so you can whisper.
You can't. Just quietly. Just very quiet. Flower Rose. He's back. He's been hunting me, and now he's found me. Because of all of you, of course. Well, partially, I don't know. All I know is I must set you on your path. I failed. We failed.
I'll drop him to the floor.
He will just lead us into damnation. I can tell you that much. He states that he's been followed, and now we should follow him. No. If he is followed by this...
He doesn't say the name.
Then he will just lead us right to our death.
And then he kind of turns around and walks back to the doctor and Mr. Erickson, and it's more like he's looking at the two of you like, should we maybe deal with him in a sense, notch. Know what I mean?
Well, okay.
Is he a threat to us? I mean, he doesn't...
He knows our names. He is looked after by him. And now he is being followed and he's trying to hide. Now with us, he truly will expose us to him if he sees and communicates with him every night. Not willingly, of course, but that's a threat and a risk that I cannot risk myself.
And he's kind of starts to look through his pockets. Like, he's not finding and pulling out anything. He's just starting to go through things, looking for something.
He's gonna kill us all. And he's just totally, frantic right now.
See.
Does he even notice that you're, rifling through his pockets?
I go through my pockets. To look for something.
Okay. Oh, you're going through your pockets. Okay.
What it is unclear. But...
Okay.
Still, my question stands. Like, do we follow that madman to lead us into another tunnel that we don't know of, who knows all our names, who knows who we are, who's followed by some entity, and he's trying to guide us away from it? Something is flawed in this.
Maybe we should go where he came from.
Without him.
He said he heard a woman. Didn't you say you had a woman?
me. Woman, are you asking me if I'm married? I'm not married.
No. If you've heard my Jessica, did you hear a young woman?
Yes. Follow me. Follow me. And he darts into the tunnel.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just roll with it. I have something else on once we.
Okay, so what are you guys doing? He literally goes about halfway down the tunnel, and what you see, it kind of veers a little bit to the right, and he stops before he gets to there and turns around and he beckons you to come.
I follow him. No hesitation.
I look at Eric and at the doctor and just look at them like eyes wide open, like they are blinded by him, by sheer following for a scream. The last time he brought us to a rat. How can we be assured that now he's not? But all of them are leading us to a much darker doom. I mean, I'm truly questioning here why we are miles and miles underneath London now after we thought it would be much simpler than that. Are we truly risking our lives to save that one girl? For what? What does she know? What does she contribute to us? I mean, that's truly. I mean, if Margaret has left, I mean, he uses that too.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not there to engage.
He uses that leverage to incentivize some distrust amongst the group.
So, what do you suggest we do, Mr. Morgan? What's the alternative?
I just don't know if we should just blindly follow that man. The only ones that know him or know of him, it seems to be Miss Erika. Miss Playfair, he follows him blindly on the belief that he knows where that young girl is. That name I forgot. Jennifer? What's her name? Jessica. I knew something with
Jessica.
Where Jessica is. And then we just follow them like lambs to a slaughter? I mean, where are we now? How do we get out of here, if that is a trap? He said that we are followed, that somebody's after us, that we are essential. And he kind of just points to that dug hole miles underneath London with the damn walls around us and a ghost train behind us as well. And he just questions all of us. And I feel like I think he is starting to become, or to question his own sanity if he might be the sanest of all of them now. Yes.
Johannes, make a luck roll. Johannes.
I have some luck.
Okay. So you succeed. As you think upon your investigation for the past, 2 years now, he's the final piece to your puzzle. And you kind of need him. Just saying.
Well, I need him is too much. Well, I'm following him anyway, so.
Well, what I mean by that is that there are, he has information that you're pretty sure can help really help you understand what's going on here and why. So, but he hasn't been able to give that to you yet. So.
Yeah, but he's following.
Yeah, when I hear the other ones not coming, I definitely yell, at least for the doctor. Doctor, I thought you were looking for answers. This is the way towards answers.
Lennox is just pointing to the hole.
I will go after Johannes, but I'll briefly stop and whisper in your ear in the same manner you do, Lennox. And I'll whisper to you, be ready.
Oh,
dear
I
God.
am ready. He whispers softly back. But there's a bit of like a harsh, like there's a coarse sound to his voice a bit. I do look at Ericsson a bit quizzically. No,
Yes.
Lauritsen, Eric Lauritsen. Oh, not Ericsson.
Oh, it's yes.
There we go.
yes.
Not Lauritz
You're
Eriksson.
close. Half and half.
Culmination of both. Mr.
Mhm.
Lauritsen.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like
I-
I trust the doctor, but I don't know if I trust you, and I just look at you quizzically if you're on our side or on their side.
I look at him and I say, I pause for a second as the others are wandering off into the dark. I pause and then I say, Mr. Morgan, I have come to learn that there's no use running away from your fate. So let's just see where this takes us. And I start walking into the tunnel after the others.
Okay.
I think the last then will be Lennox, following the merry band with a good distance.
Okay. All right. So, as you as briskly as you can without overdoing it, you kind of to keep up with him. He's being very, very quiet, trying to making sure to check corners, etc., and listening, and he'll tell you to hold up for just a moment, and then so you head down the passageway. It has a series of turns, dips down. There's a couple of small chambers on the right and left that you see that appear to be places where they put supplies, digging equipment, etc. They've apparently been working on this little cavern for quite some time, and you get down to where it starts to the passageway opens up into a wide, massive, high cavern, and it's actually, you can't really tell how high it is simply because the light dissipates. You can't see you can't see the ceiling, okay? Because you're in a massive cavern, and all you can see is what light is. So you guesstimate that the ceiling is probably maybe 100 foot in height, just a guess.
Whoa.
But it opens up in several stalactites, or stalagmites, I should say, that are about. But it looks like they've kind of created what, in the distance, you see several of these same types of men dressed in the same fashion that you saw at Dr. Richard Bamford's manor, all rushing around doing this, that, or the other, carrying stuff. Some of them are carrying weapons. Some are carrying pickaxes, etc. And they don't notice you right now, but you see Nigel. He points over to a door, and it's a large wooden door that they managed to have installed down here that has like iron rivets across the top of it. It's clearly, it looks like it's got a massive padlock on it. He looks over to you and to you, Johannes, and to you, Margaret.
Padlocks, you say? Well, I shall try to pick those.
Okay. I'm gonna need a stealth roll from you first to get there without being seen.
That is no problem. Oh, for crying out loud! I paid the luck. Jesus Christ!
All right.
Oh.
My God, that's just horrible. Okay, so all right, you get over there without being seen or heard, and he just waves you by, and he basically kind of says, I'll keep watch. And you get to the doorway, and you hear crying on the inside. A little
I
bit
shall-
in a distance, and you actually recognize the voice. It's definitely Jessica.
Okay. Pray for my locksmithing, everybody.
What are the rest of you doing?
I pay another 6 luck.
I
Screw
Okay.
that.
I start praying. No.
Okay, so all right, we're gonna say that you get the lock, you get it undone. Oh, the rest of you need to know exactly what you're doing. Lennox, I know you kind of hung back. You'll have to let me know what you plan on doing from there. But Margaret and Dr. Finley and Eric, what are you doing?
I'm hovering by Nigel's side, also keeping watch.
Okay.
How far away is it that Johannes had to go for the door?
Well, as I said, it opens up into a massive cavern. There's several stalagmites, but there's a pathway as it goes to the right and to the left. The way it's lit, the pathway kind of goes maybe 25, 50 feet along the right-hand side wall, and that's where that door is. And then you can see off in the distance, people passing each other in the distance, maybe about, I'm going to say 150 feet, maybe 200 feet. They're down there. So.
I'm not the sneakiest, and I'm afraid of ruining Johannes's effort, but I'm hovering sort of as close to the edge of our cover as I dare.
Okay.
Sort of, torn between staying safe and helping.
Right. So you and basically you and Nigel kind of huddle down behind a stalagmite. Believe it or not, down here, you are seeing something that's rather strange that you've not seen before, at least as far as you know. There is actual plant life down here. There is what looks to be almost jungle-like plant life down here. Anybody with a biology history, stuff like that, would probably go marvel at the fact that what is this? This is not the place that this is supposed to be. Okay, you would see this.
I think as we were in the trolley, my mind was already, like we had this long ride that my mind went all the places when it just couldn't stand being horribly scared anymore. And so the last couple minutes, I've just been sort of recalling every scene from my childhood favorite Journey to the Center of the Earth. Like, oh my, this is just like it. This is just like it.
Yeah, it's just very, very much got a Jules Verne vibe to it. The whole thing, absolutely. And that's what's kind of throwing you off about all this. This is not. You've never seen anything like this before. It's one thing that you're dealing with a fiend from hell, so to speak, but this smacks of something completely different, and it's intriguing at the same time. It's got you wondering. So, all right, Eric, are you just kind of hanging back too?
No, I am going to stand close by and provide a light source for the lockpicking.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm relaying a very unhelpful and condescending lockpicking advice to Mr. Rickett.
Nice. All right, I need you to make a stealth check because you're going to have to do the same thing that Johannes did to get over there.
Okay. Let me see if I have. Sorry, I didn't have the cheat ready. Just give me a second here.
Sure, that's fine.
Stealth, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not good at all. Did it come up? Yeah, no, it's a fail.
Okay. Do you want to push it, or you want to spend luck? Which would be a lot of luck, but
no, I
Okay.
don't want to do that.
Okay. So
Get ready to run.
amazing. Okay, I literally rolled just to see if a listen roll, and I rolled a 99. So yeah, you're fine. Okay, so everything's fine. You literally fall
Cultist
over,
gets
make the
tinnitus.
loudest noise.
Tinnitus.
Yes,
For the time
everybody
being.
make the loudest noise possible, and they don't even remotely, know it. So you get the lock open, and you see that there are 4 cells inside that main. There's a vestibule area, maybe 10 foot by 20 foot long, and there are 4 cells, 2 on each side. You hear from the far left side cell, you hear a woman crying. Margaret, you recognize the voice immediately.
I clutch Nigel and I say, that's her, under my breath.
Okay. So, you go in. You notice that one of the doors has been jimmied on the left-hand side. You assume that that's exactly where Nigel was at one point. And you literally find Jessica in there. It's locked. You try to lock it again, unlock it again there, Mr. Lockpicking Man. Who's
Oh, I paid the luck. I get this open.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so no problem.
Where is Nigel? Is he around with them?
He's
Hiding with me behind a stalagmite.
well, then you were not.
Tight.
Well, yeah, you were outside when you heard the voice, but yeah, okay. So anyhow, you get the door open. It is definitely Jessica. She looks at you with very wide eyes, as if it looks. Her eyes are very wide, and her pupils are very dilated.
And try to get her out of the cell.
Okay, so she just follow you. She's very difficult to get up and move, but you manage to kind of help her along, and you get yourself back to the main area from the entranceway of the cavern. Yeah, they are just so happy in whatever it is they're doing. So yeah, they literally do not hear you. And yeah, I'm rolling so bad.
Cultisting is distracting.
So Lennox, you're standing back there watching this go on. You're like amazed that nobody's heard shit. You're just really. And you see Jessica come out of there, and the Nigel follows up behind. You two, we go. Let's go. God bless you. And you can make yourself back out to the main tunnel. Is to kind of tell me what you're gonna do from there.
I am very glad that the cultists are so hard of hearing, because I make such a fuss over Jessica.
I will try to usher everyone into the ghost train.
Before that, while Jessica was being rescued and Lady Playfair, I assume she went to make sure that it is Jessica, right? I assume I could have had some time with Nigel, private time with Nigel, behind the cell, right? While waiting for him.
He was actually, Margaret was right next to him.
Yeah, but I was nearby. I was mentioned that I was following them.
The second that Jessica appeared, I would have, my intention would have been
you would
attention, brother.
You would have a couple minutes. You would have a couple minutes. So.
Yeah, that's more enough. Okay, so I would offer him a little bit of wine, because I have a hip flask with me, and maybe poke him a bit and tell him, Nigel, I have some wine here. I know it's not water, but it might quench your thirst a little bit.
He snatches it from your hand.
Good.
Downs the whole thing.
Right, and that means that he didn't realize that it was poisoned, right?
What?
That would be very true. Absolutely.
No. Yeah, because I don't remember where I got it, but I have a vial containing very strong poison. So I emptied it inside the wine. And while all this was happening, Lennox's words were echoing my thoughts. His suspicions. I could hear him whisper.
Okay.
So yes, made some sense. Yes.
Okay. So he downs it, and he's like, "Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you." And you start to make your way down the tunnel. About halfway to the tunnel, you see him kind of with his stomach. He's having a hard time moving. Help me! Just help me! And he's moving still, but it's only been a couple minutes since you gave it to him. This is not like the movies, folks, where they give him and all of a sudden they just drop over.
Yeah.
It takes a little longer than that. So yeah.
Yes, you're tired. Please sit down. Lean against the wall. Please sit down. You need to rest.
Is there
Don't leave me here. Don't leave me here.
is there a chance that Lennox would have overseen the lacing of the wine?
I told you to be ready, so I maybe.
Yeah, I would say you probably. Well, there's no doubt in my mind. Yes, you would have seen it because he would have kept an eye on you if he told you be ready. So I'm assuming that you would have kept an eye on
Okay.
Dr. Finley.
Just making sure. Because then my reaction would be to support him, like, oh, come, just a few more steps, and then when the doctor says, like, oh, just rest, I kind of put him down.
Okay. All right. All right.
When I realized that we're down to like 4 people,
Yeah.
Mr. Lawrenson, make sure the others make haste. We need to get out of here before this mob of armed figures gets at us. We need to get everybody in the cart, no matter their state.
That's a good idea, and I heed his advice and try to usher people forward, so they hurry up.
Yeah. I let myself be ushered. I am unaware of anything but Jessica's presence. Like, oh, how are you doing? Did they hurt you? Oh, my poor thing.
Okay. So.
Then try to usher the 3 stragglers.
Okay.
Picking up Nigel.
Yes.
If necessary.
So everybody is kind of ushering forward, including Lennox and Dr. Finley. They just kind of move. You see Nigel's eyes go wide, and he recognizes something is wrong. And he looks to you. Pray for me, brother.
We will have to get him on the train. The doctor can look at him afterwards.
Remember the words I tell you now, he whispers into your ear. Prophetia, pente, clavium. Prophetia, pente, clavium. Vet, pente, clavium. Check the book. My book. And he collapses to the floor.
My God, what's wrong with him? Let me
Get him
stand aside. I need to check him out. Please.
Get into the train. We need to get into the train. And actually, try to carry Nigel with the help of the doctor, maybe.
Okay.
Lennox will help while the doctor can check.
So you all pile into the train, right? Yes. Okay.
I will look at the doctor.
Oh no.
As soon as you all pile in, you hear the clanging alarm again, and then you hear definitely stuff going on inside the cavern, and you see shadows of people coming. Not just of 1 or 2, a lot. So the
sit, go.
all you hear is the boom, 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 and the crackling happens again, and you start to go the direction straight forward, and it starts to go up. Okay, and behind you, you see, I would say roughly about, I'm going to say 50 or more, probably more, men armed. You hear the sounds.
Oh dear.
Duck is what you do.
It's pinging off everything around you. It's putting holes into the glass. Some of the glass shatters as you're going way up. You hear below the floorboards just, and then about that moment, you hear another bang, and you hear the car stops.
Oh no.
How far is this crowd of horribly armed people?
About, I'm going to say now about 200 feet, 300 feet.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, check if Nigel is dead, and if yes, so shame. And run.
He's definitely dead. He's dead. Yeah, you have no choice. You actually wonder what the hell's going on, and it looks like you flip open the hatch, and you see a bullet has pierced directly through that guy's head and into the.
I wouldn't have bothered to flip open the hatch.
Okay, well then
if somebody else had, they can, but I wouldn't have. I'm ushering. Right. I check if Higginson's dead, and if he's a goner, I'm ushering out the ladies.
Nigel's gone. He's dead.
Have them run, and
okay.
I reckon the other people can
bullet whizzing by.
Themselves.
Who's the furthest in the rear?
I mean, I was.
You were the last on the train, probably.
Yeah, trying to also get Nigel on with the others. Before Nigel is like fully past, though, there's one thing that Lennox would love to do, and that's kind of like just when he feels him kind of slowly fading, go close up to his ear and just say, "Laura sends his regards." Just to fucking mess with him.
Oh my god.
And
you are horrible.
Yeah.
You are not a nice person.
And then he would be the last in the train, or pretty much at the very rear.
I do desperately want to roll a listen check. Shame.
All right, so yeah, you just see this look of absolute horror on his face when you say that, and he just holds and clasps the crucifix in his hand, and you see him pray, and he just kind of nods off.
The moment he's dead, I will take the crucifix as well.
Okay, that's whenever you feel a sharp, piercing pain through your right leg.
Oh. Good. Yeah. Cool.
It seems that one of the bullets had pierced through one of the glasses, ricocheted, and hits you in the right leg.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Doing 2 points of damage.
Neat.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, I certainly kind of collapse a bit. First action, though, is to put the crucifix into my pocket, call out for the doctor and Rika to kind of just, the fuck, just help me, and visibly dragging my foot.
Okay. So you guys basically, you're clamming your way, just trying to go up this 45-degree angle hill, dragging each other all the way up here. People are following behind you.
Is there a chance that while leaving the front of the train, there's some sort of brake or something that we could loosen up? You know, theoretically,
nice.
They would be on oil oil brakes. If we just cut a line.
But not a ghost-powered nightmare train?
Hey, there must be some mechanic to it. There must be some sort of mechanic to it.
Do you have mechanical repair or anything like that?
I do.
You do? Okay. Well, why don't you roll that for me?
Fuck. Yes, that's an extreme success.
Are you fucking
I mean,
kidding
all the
me?
brewing
No,
pipes and the kettles and the
I do
you
not
know.
kid. I do not kid. This is an extreme success.
Yes.
Okay, so literally, as you put two and two together, even though you're limping with a bullet in your freaking right calf, and you put two and two together. It's like you look down and you do see an oil line that looks like immediately as soon as the car stops, it automatically engages the brakes on this thing. You reach down there, pull out your knife, slit this thing, and in a matter of seconds, the whole thing starts to roll down the freaking hill. And literally, it keeps. A lot of these guys couldn't do much to get out of the way of it. So you actually plowed over at least, I'm going to say about 10, 12 of the cultists, and the rest of them are just fumbling. So this actually gives you enough time to make it. You didn't make it all the way up to the top, but you did make it to a side shaft.
Credit where credit is due. Johannes will be like, "Great thinking, Mr. Morgan."
Yeah, that was pretty good thinking.
Seemed like the right thing to do. Now let's get on. You can thank me.
Unbelievable. So you find a side shaft, something that you've not seen before. But the interesting part about this, I need you all to make a spot hidden as soon as you walk in. You know you're in a hurry, but they literally lost sight of you once that thing come flying down. And
just a language question, probably a side shaft, so a channel.
I should
to
say
the side,
another cavern, another open miners. Think of it as a miner tunnel. A tunnel. We'll say call it a tunnel.
Okay.
But that's just it. It's literally to the right, and it looks like that this shaft that was dug, that you're now have been going up, had actually cut off or cut through this already pre-existing shaft. Because you glance to the other side, it looks like there was another side to this tunnel. But the interesting part about the tunnel is the fact that there are boards on the floor of the tunnel, and there are handrails. And it looks to be like there's electric lighting here. However, none of it's working. Yeah, none of the lights are working, but it's there. And
but this, it's official looking, not home dug.
It looks like it's very official. Mm-hmm.
I'll just pinch Rika and the doctor, who are the two hopefully carrying me after that heroic act. To get the hell on and just move up.
Okay. Yes.
All right. So what are the rest of you guys doing? Johannes, anything in particular? I'm going to go one at a time, each of you. Johannes, anything particular you're doing?
No, just getting everyone up as fast as possible.
Okay. Well, you're no longer going up. You're actually going level this way. Okay, so you're going up at an angle, and you hit a tunnel off to the right-hand side, but it's completely 100%. It's like a finished basement. This is a finished tunnel. Okay, so if you think of it in that fashion. So whoever did this wasn't the guys down below. Let's put it that way. So all right, that's you. Eric, what are you doing? Just following along? Is there anything particular you're wanting to do?
No, I follow along as quickly as possible.
Okay. Margaret, anything new?
My attention is still mostly on Jessica, and just you described her as a bit out of it, with the widened eyes and such. So yeah.
Sure, her pupils are very dilated. You think that she's been drugged at some point in time.
That was my impression. So yeah, I'm very much just leading her.
Okay. So Dr. Finley, anything particular you're doing?
Yes, if if I get a couple of minutes, I'd like to tend the wounds, the bullet wound that Lennox has on his leg. Maybe remove the bullet and stitch it, or
Well,
clean it.
you
have
could
enough time?
at the very least you can apply first aid.
Yeah. That's
yeah,
the intention.
yeah,
Yes, just first aid. Yes.
Yeah,
Stop the bleeding and.
All right, so let's do a first aid roll. So,
All right. First aid. We go extreme. Yep.
holy shit. Okay. Man, you're like totally getting out of athletics. That's amazing. All right. Yeah, he does a little, butterfly, ties it up. It feels amazing. You actually feel amazing. And
It's called
so
cocaine.
you guys,
Yeah.
right. So you make your way down this tunnel, and it leads for, I'm going to say, roughly a half mile. Okay. And you find yourself, there is a opening, and it looks like there's a sign on the side of the wall. This is a hard rock wall. They basically have burrowed this thing through. There's a sign on the side of the wall. When you put your lantern light up to it, it says the Tower of London.
Oh wow.
Out of the frying pan.
The crown jewel's already here at this
Is this
time.
Oh yeah.
Is this a tube stop sign kind of thing?
Well, I want you to make a history check for me, Margaret. You're the only one I think that could do this, because you're the only Brit here, technically. So.
Right. Come on. No, I fail.
How bad you feel by? Oh, really bad.
Oh, really bad. Yeah, no, I'm not spending luck on that one. Kind of bad.
I get it. All right. So, yeah, you're not sure why this is here. Who knows? There are a lot of things about the Tower of London that most people do not know. You know that it's a fortress within a fortress. You know that there has been quite a bit of torture done here in the past, if not currently. You're not 100% certain, and you do know that I can't. Don't quote me on it, sweet. So I that might be right, that the jewels are there. I honestly had not checked about this time period. I'll have to look it up. But yeah. So it's very possible that this tunnel may have been.
Yeah, no, I'm just all Princess in the Tower, Ravens. Yeah,
yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you guys managed to get into the basement level of the Tower of London. Honestly, it looks like there's a couple passageways leading out, but it looks like it leads out into the main courtyard of the tower. This is not very far off from the main entrance. Oh, thank you. So it turns out, because I've had someone tell me from the ether that there is the crown jewels were at the Tower of London, and at this particular time period. So in previous times, I don't think it's at this time, the Tower of London's main entrance was actually on the Thames. You would enter from the Thames side of the river. It was where you would enter into the Tower of London. There really wasn't. There was a gatehouse on the other side, but the main entrance really was you went from the waterway. But you're nearby the back gate entrance. There are, well, it's the Tower of London, so there's a lot of guards.
Can we tell if it's day or night? I'm not sure how many hours.
It was about 5-6 o'clock in the morning when you guys first went down that rickety elevator. I'm going to say it's probably about noon, about now, roughly. I'm going to say roughly about noon after all that's taken place. Yeah. So how do you guys want to handle this?
Well, I think I'm just relieved that I see a place name that I recognize, and that we've not been, magically transported to Nepal or something. Because after what we've seen down there, this might have been just the train to Shangri-La or something.
Would we know how much we are out of place when we just pop out in the tower? Would it be...
Probably not. Unless you've been on a tour.
Yeah, there's the question. Is can you get in there in the tour? Is it like a...
I would imagine.
I don't know, a garrison at the moment? I don't know what it was in the 19th century.
Yeah.
Or is it already a, like, museum-esque
It's partially... It's exactly as you stated. There is a garrison there, but it's for specific reasons that most people don't know of. And in this particular case, there is tours that they can do, but it's a limited tour where they see what they see. It's like today, if you go to the White House, if you want to see a tour of the White House. When I was a kid, I actually got to see the Oval Office. I was walked inside the Oval Office and got to look around it. They don't show that anymore, period. So that's kind of what I'm thinking that's up with this. I think that it's possible. It's got how to get out of here. You could try to sneak out. Is it possible? Yep. Is it likely that you're not going to get caught or? Yep. Okay. So, right. So as you can tell, there looks like to be. Oh, yeah. Okay. So the main gate's open. Believe it or not, and there are people are walking in and out. It's the public. They apparently keep it open.
So try to look inconspicuous, straighten our clothes, and just waltz out of there.
Yeah. First, I'm going to need a stealth roll from all of you, at least one. Yep. Yeah. Just to get out of the area that you're at without being seen is the big thing.
We're just tourists. Nothing to see here.
Ooh, Lennox is invisible.
I'll happily spend luck on this.
You're rolling like a freaking god today. That's amazing. All right. So, Margaret, yeah, you fail. So did Dr. Finley.
Yeah, I'm happy to spend luck if that's, if it's going to do us any good with Dr. Finley being seen. Or Eric being seen, I guess. Yeah.
Based on my roll here, I think that, it's not enough. Yeah, so you literally kind of it literally as a crowd started kind of comes by the area that you're in, you kind of like shuttle yourself in behind and like look around like you're a tourist looking around, and as soon as you get near the gate entrance, you basically you're carting Lennox out as he's limping his way out the front gate, and you manage to hop in a growler cabbie right there waiting for you. And where would you like to go?
Hotel.
And we do need medical attention, I guess. We need to go back to the hotel.
A pub. Immediately. The Four Horsemen.
Right. So,
Mr. Morgan, you look like you need some medical attention. Should we visit a hospital, maybe?
Right, yeah.
Jessica needs to be checked over. I'm sure she's been drugged.
Yeah, he doesn't care about her. He kind of lifts the leg to the doctor. It's like, that's fine, right? Just a couple of days of rest and well, she will be fine. Yeah, good. Yeah, we're
Yes.
Four Horsemen it is. Go on.
So the driver looks back and he sees poor Jessica just lolling back, her eyes almost rolling back into her head. Oh, miss, are you all right, miss? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. We've got to take her to the hospital. No, they've got to get a proper care for this girl. She's going to. No, we can. I'll take you to wherever you want to go after we go to the hospital. And he barrels off in the carriage.
Good man.
Within minutes, you are at the hotel. Margaret and Jessica is being taken in by stretcher inside the hospital. Doctors are looking after her. You stay with her at that point in time, I'm assuming, staying at her bedside. Correct? The rest of you go to the Four Horsemen pub. Is that where you want to go? Okay. What about the rest? Okay, that's at least Lennox and the Dr. Finley.
Yeah.
What about Johannes and Eric? You want to go to the pub as well?
Yes, the lure of alcohol will probably.
Well, after what you've been through, yeah, I can see it.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
It's time.
Johannes?
No,
Yeah, I figured.
no pub.
Yeah. Where are you going?
Too professional.
You can tell me privately if you want, or whatever.
I'll figure this out.
Okay. So the rest of you, Lennox, Dr. Finley, and Eric all head to the Four Horsemen pub. You go inside. You basically help Lennox limp over to a table, and they start bringing in your favorite ales that you like, Lennox. And what do you guys do from there?
I think first things first, I will take probably one of the, or a couple of the candles and start heating up my knife to cauterize the wound on my leg, just to deal with that and not bleeding all over the floor, because once I start drinking, obviously I will thin my blood.
Actually, he did such a fantastic job with that first aid roll. It's not bleeding at all. It's quite well contained.
No, well, wonderful.
But however, the bullet did not go through. It's still in your leg. You do need to have that removed.
Well, then it's time for exactly that. The Four Horsemen and the row of ales that will be filling up the stable very soon, so that the good doctor will take out the bullet with no further medical assistance needed.
Good old American medicine, yes.
Okay.
I trust you. You'll take this out no matter what.
All right.
Besides that, I think after the first beer that he downs immediately, there will be some sinister tone here, because I think that this was more than a close call that we just made. We know that these fellows, Judah Society, is now certainly upon us and will surge all over London after us. We certainly need to switch our hotels. We need to change our names, make sure that we avoid any public appearances. I mean, as far as it goes. I mean, who knows? And thankfully, unfortunately, this Nigel fellow couldn't make it any further. But God knows what he already told them, and how much this poor lady would have given off to the society on our behalf. I mean, God knows, they could have now be after whole Playfair's family, holding them hostage or demanding something in return. Now, he's spinning tales, but ultimately he's very concerned about the fact that they just barely escaped infiltrating the Judah Society's quote-unquote headquarters just to free that one girl who, well, in his eyes might be better off dead rather than... I mean, now we need to question her, and we need to make sure that she's telling us the truth. You know, there's consequences on either side. So that's what he's kind of convincing to Eric and Dr. Finley.
Yes, I'm also worried, because think about it. Who was the man who led us down there? Who felt her presence? Who was it? Johannes. Mr. Lorigen, how well do you know of Mr. Ricky Johannes?
Well,
Remember, he took us down there, and I don't think it was coincidence. That man we met, Nigel, he knew him. Something's off here.
that is true. I think Mr. Ricky might owe us an explanation, at least. Where is he, by the way?
Exactly, where is he?
A man that doesn't drink after an event like this is, in my eyes, not to be trusted.
Man, I've heard it all.
Indeed.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta have a little talk. Somebody at the consulate somewhere. Need to do some reporting.
Well, you can send a telegraph.
I am in London. I'll just go to the embassy.
Oh, duh. Yeah, right. Yeah, duh. Right. So, all right. Yeah, it's like midday. You can go directly to the embassy.
And I'll probably find somebody who can who's reliably reporting to my superiors, like whoever's handling the things here.
Well, the ambassadors.
Give whoever is the local asset handler a little bit of a rundown. That's not too crazy. I'll leave out some of the ghost train stuff, but just in general, that I think I know who committed the murders and that it's probably the Judas Society and yada. And
just before you answer, just on a global level, is there any time loss? Like, does the time match up? Like, the experience time that we went down and came back up. Does that
is a
add
good
up,
question.
or is it like completely?
No, it adds up.
Okay.
It adds up. Yeah, it adds up. You weren't quite in a place like that yet.
No, okay, just to make sure.
That never occurred to me. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, not quite. So you talk to your. I'm assuming this is going to be like one of the lead assistants or whatever from the ambassador. He's usually the one in charge while the ambassador's out, whatever they're doing. And he highly recommends to you, Johannes, that you go find this Nigel Harris's flat and turn it over for any more information.
yeah, I remember I think he sent me his address.
He did.
I'm fairly certain that it's probably been turned over already by other parties. I don't know if it's worth the risk.
He's an older gentleman. And you think of any place else where he might have information? Clearly, he knows something. You said he mentioned something about the 5 of you.
Apparently, the Judas Society has pulled some strings to get exactly these 5 people here at exactly this time.
Well, that's troubling, at the very least.
I feel it has something to do with that gala, but I don't know. How long till that goddamn occasion that we'll never reach this?
We'll never reach. It's actually supposed to. The gala actually itself has actually started now. The gala has, but that's just the fundraising portion of it. The masquerade ball doesn't start till 7 p.m.
But the ball is tonight.
Right, ball's tonight.
I feel that ball tonight is going to maybe shed some light on some things. To be honest, I need some rest before that. I'll come to speak of it. I'll be at the hotel.
Well, if you feel that's the best move right now, I suppose. I I would caution you. We can't waste time, especially if any one of our, any one of our capable fathers are in danger. Already lost several as it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Rewinding back or switching over to the Four Horsemen, we now see a scene where basically a full table has been blocked off, and Lennox is laying on the table, heating a knife up.
I'm not laying on the table. I'm just putting my foot on the table, as a good Englishman would, and,
Okay, fine, do it that
have
way.
this happen on the side.
Right. So you put your foot up there, and you're literally just drinking away. You've already had about, I will say 7-8 pints at least.
It's a good start.
Yeah, definitely a good start. So, need you to make a medicine roll there, Dr. Finley.
I already did a few minutes ago. It's no regular success. It's on. Roll
Okay.
20.
Okay. Yep. Okay, I see it. All right then. So with a small amount of pain, a little bit of grunting on your side there, Lennox, you suddenly hear a clank and a bullet being dropped into a tumbler glass on one of the tables. So, and patches it up, gives you a slight sip of laudanum for the pain, and you're quite well and truly schnozzed right now. So absolutely, yeah.
I do want to ask Mr. Lauritsen one thing, though.
Go ahead.
Mr. Lauritsen, you remember the events unfolding as far as you've experienced it with us, but we've seen and experienced things before on a ship, as you might have heard, and I'm just curious, do you have any objection or incline about how to continue with that woman of Miss Playfair, with Jessica? I mean, after all, she's been exposed now to not only the Judas Society, to us all. She has maybe more experience. And he's making eye contact with the doctor kind of here. Hopefully he understands what I'm getting at. And, it's just touch and feel, with Lauritsen to kind of get his idea how to approach this situation. Or what his opinion in general is.
At first, you can see that Eric is very distracted by the operation. He's staring intensely. He looks almost hungry. But then he kind of snaps back to life and he says, yes, I do believe we need to be careful with this young woman. We don't know if she's been turned to their cause, if you see what I mean.
I completely know what you mean, and that's my fear.
Yes.
After all. If that man who escaped the society, not being kept in prison, why wasn't he kept in prison? Why could he just roam around, make his way out to the end, while everyone else was locked up?
Because he was their agent already, right? They had already won his loyalty, while Jessica was still locked up, so maybe she was in the process of being converted. But I agree with you, Mr. Morgan. There may be a scenario where we may have to treat Jessica to a sip of wine as well.
You noticed, I see.
Oh, no, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. Yes.
In vino veritas, in wine lies the truth.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. And We're making an awful mess of this table. Should we clean this up, maybe?
Yes, you're
Yeah,
right.
doesn't anybody call the coppers when they're doing an operation on the table in the pub? Is this just normal Saturday evening occurrence in a pub in London?
Yeah, it's.
I mean, I wouldn't have
It's a
gone to
British
like
pub,
I wouldn't have
after all.
gone to like a high class pub. It would be like a grimy, like,
No.
the Four Horsemen. Come on, that sounds like any grimy like dive bar.
Yeah, is that in Whitechapel?
It's a working
It
class
definitely
pub.
is in Whitechapel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that you could grease the palm of the owner, and because otherwise he's just not gonna.
Happily. Happily.
You're bleeding me out of me off of here, mate. And do that somewhere else. I don't need blood all over my floor.
I'll happily grease the palm.
Okay.
I'll even ask for a bucket to clean it, and I'll do it. I mean, it's not under me to clean and wipe. I mean,
Okay.
I have my share of business in that in Boston and New York.
While you're cleaning that up, Eric passes a comment and says, "It's a pity, Mr. Morgan, to see all that blood go to waste. But what do you do?"
He nods, and like, I don't think he understands what you just said, and he's like, yeah, you're right. And he continues to clean, and it takes him probably too long to realize and to react properly. Maybe the laudanum has some effect on that as well. But yeah, at some point he's like, huh. But he's keeping that on the back burner for now. And for that, I think that's as much as I think Lennox wants to do to see how our new friend, looking at the doctor, our new friend here is doing, and how much we can trust him. Because I certainly trust the doctor now.
Yes. Keep eyes on him. Yes.
So,
Yes. I wonder what Lady Playfair is doing with Jessica.
so as
Sitting
you
by
guys,
her bedside.
right. So as you're having this conversation, I need, all three of you make a spot hidden, please. That's all.
Which three?
Pub one.
Pub.
The
Top three.
the
pub
crazy
three.
Fruit Loop ones that are
Oh.
plotting the world against the world here. Yeah, you guys.
Can I say it's an extreme success?
Yeah, whatever. It never fails. What else does it do? All right. So, it doesn't matter. Whoever succeeded, whoever didn't succeed is going to notice this already because they're going to watch Lennox. Your head snaps to the doorway as you see a man enter in with curly black hair, a beard that's covered in dust. His eyes are kind of wide, and he's wearing what looks to be clothes from a dock worker. He eyes you immediately, smiles, and walks over to your table and sits down.
Oh, no.
I'm actually a bit of loss here.
Wait a minute, is it Nigel? What?
It's Nigel.
It's Nigel again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll immediately get up. I'll call for another round for the table, +1, and I'll kind of put my hands around him. My dear chap, come on, take a seat and take a drink. Where have you been? And just immediately kind of covertly pull him to the table while trying to also shut him up.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Just a moment. So, yeah, he looks a little like he's confused at first, and you're not really quite sure what's going on. But then he kind of looks to you and smiles as you hand him a drink, and
Come on, the old chap. Take a seat.
smiles again.
How?
And that's where we're going to leave our session for today.
Oh, God.
That's all.
Did we all hear that? Did we all hear that, or on Linux?
Actually, yeah, all of you hear this. Absolutely.
Oh, shit.
All of us.
Holy shit.
Ouch.
Yep, okay.
Please tell me
Yeah.
we're going to have our next session on time because I cannot sit on this cliffhanger for a month.
We'll try not to. That's up to everybody else. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Those of you who are watching on this, we do a roller coaster ride around here, and we have fun doing it. So, thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for our next episode of the Sovereign Sacrifice. Yep.